Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off?
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details. So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with a surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Friday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And hey, look, there's Ralph. Looks like he's in a hostage video, the way he's lit right now. He's about to give us a prepared statement that the terrorists are making him say. We can't hear Ralph.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Ralph.
Say something.
Talking. Yeah.
Show us the sign.
I have nothing to say to that comment.
You have like a little sign, a little hand signal of duress.
Oh, I got a sign.
Blink with your eyes, SOS, if we need to help you.
Well, the sign he gave wasn't duress. The sign he gave was his IQ. So anyway, so it's Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and we're starting the show today with some creepy crap. Some creepy crap, if you ask me.
Creepy crap.
Well, I can't say anything else because we're on the radio, you know. But no, there's something that just really just kind of blew me away, and it was brought to my attention by Fish Tank, and then later Big George noticed it too.
All right.
Here yesterday we were talking about how Grand Canyon University was going to beat the living daylights out of Utah Tech.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Utah Tech actually did better than expected. They lost by 12.
Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't in the clear until maybe the final 6 or 7 minutes of the game. It was pretty close throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, they gave it some fight, so but we had talked about how, my God, it was a 19.5 point difference in the spread, and that Grand Canyon could just clean the floor with these guys. And I said, well, I'm tempted when you look at the money line on this, maybe you just put a couple bucks on Utah Tech, see what happens, because you never know it'll happen. And one of the scenarios that we mentioned was, I was like, maybe the starters get stuck in an elevator and then the bench has to play and try to beat Utah Tech. Maybe then they have a chance. So it happened. Not to GCU, but it happened to Farley Dickinson men's basketball team. The Knights game against Long Island University was delayed 17 minutes because they got stuck in an elevator.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Okay.
Same day I said it.
Wow.
I said it.
Almost, I think, moments after you said
and
it.
And then it happened.
We didn't realize it at the time, but the game tipped off basically shortly after the show ended.
That's some creepy crap right there.
That's some creepy crap. And if you're going to say, well, you just saw the news thing, and like I'm following Fairleigh Dickinson. Yeah, that's going to pop up in my feed. Come on. But they're like, yeah, the lights went off, and they're like, oh, no. Then they got stuck in an elevator. So it can happen. It can happen. Didn't happen for Utah Tech. They still got their asses kicked by GCU, as expected. But it did. It was a team effort for Grand Canyon to hold them off. What do you think, Keon? Did they show up at the game, Grand Canyon University, and kind of slept on Utah Tech a little bit, or did it seem like maybe they got them a little bit sleepy at first, and they're like, all right, boys, we better pull this thing together? What happened?
Honestly, it was just one of those games where they did start a little slow, but it looked like they were getting things under control going into the half. And so when that happened, my first thought was, well, the ass kicking is coming. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then what proceeded afterwards is potentially one of the worst shooting performances that I've seen for both teams just coming out of a halftime. Like neither team could hit anything for a very long while, which of course favors Utah Tech the longer that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But they were able
used to missing.
Yeah. And I think that the GCU had to kind of rally. Ray Harrison, I think, is he started off the year, he wasn't able to play. He was still coming off of an injury. He's got that confidence back, and he was the closer last year. When they needed buckets at the end of games, Ray Harrison. And sure enough, you need buckets at the end of this game. No one seems to be able to make a shot. Ray Harrison is there, and he can give you the defense. He puts the clamp on guys. So they were able to, grind out a win.
So,
but it just was bad shooting. It was bad shooting.
Just like a good neighbor, Roy Harrison is there.
No, what are you talking about? No, nothing to do with
it.
Nothing to do with it.
It sounds like what he was talking about.
No, it still doesn't.
GCU needed somebody, and like a good neighbor, Roy Harrison is there.
I can't begin to tell you how much I hate those commercials.
Thought I sang it pretty spot on, Keon.
Well, it's not about your performance.
I think you nailed it. Yeah,
maybe a little reverb.
Probably we don't have reverb here. We don't have
maybe
reverb.
A touch of auto tune.
You would just have to echo yourself.
Yeah. Well, there.
See? Yeah. So on Saturday, Grand Canyon University is playing against California Baptist, and they're probably sitting there, we got a chance, boys. They saw that Utah Tech survived, and they're thinking, maybe. Is California Baptist any better?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it'd be 7 in a row for GCU come Monday.
So
I listen.
California, they are a little bit better. They're 14-10. They've played better. They've done better in the conference too, but they're not as good as GCU. So.
I enjoy that GCU has 6 wins in a row. Probably going to be 7 after this weekend. But part of it, I don't know who brought this up. Part of it, I think I need to agree. Maybe it's time for them to be in a different conference now. Maybe they're just too good for this conference, and it's just not right for them to hang around in the basement beating up on little kids.
Until the day that Gonzaga leaves the West Coast Conference and stops beating Santa Clara to death, then we can talk about GCU. Because Gonzaga's won national titles, and they won't leave the West Coast Conference. So at this point, no, GCU shouldn't have to move if Gonzaga and St. Mary's don't have to leave the West
It doesn't
Coast.
matter. Who cares?
Because in college
What
basketball,
do you mean doesn't matter who
It
cares?
doesn't matter. It comes down to the end of the season rankings and who gets into this tournament, and then it's all starting over again. It doesn't
Right.
matter where you play. Who
So
cares?
GCU should be where they could play USC because they'll easily beat
Well,
them every
USC
time.
sucks this
Yeah.
year. I mean, yeah, I get it.
I mean, you're going to do this. You might as well do it with a team
basketball
that
is
you've
just
heard
different.
of.
A team that you've heard of. Basketball doesn't matter. You can play anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
So-
whatever the case, the proof is in what happens. Like Ralph says, once you get to the dance, how well you dance, and if you get more than one dance.
Yeah, and nobody wants to run the risk of like what happened to South Carolina. You're in the SEC, you're ranked 11th in the country, you win 7 in a row, then you run into number 13 Auburn and they beat you by 40. Like you could have those nights in a bigger conference where it's like South Carolina is not a worse team today than they were yesterday, though they're going to tumble all the way down the rankings. I'm sure next Tuesday when they update it.
They take 65 teams, don't they? 66 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, it depends on how you feel about
I've never counted
that play-in. But it's 68 if you count the play-ins.
It's just take everybody.
64
Just
if you
start
don't.
with everybody. Who cares?
What?
You should just have
Just
everybody
start
make the
with all
tournament. Does it really
160
matter?
teams. It does
You know how
matter.
long
It
that-
doesn't
Nobody
matter.
wants to sit down.
March Madness would turn into June Madness.
Who cares? I mean,
Mesa Community College is up next. What?
It's just, I mean,
I think
there
100 teams
there
can
are
make it.
some schools that are so bad you can't put them on TV. You just
oh,
can't.
that's called the NIT.
It's just and then how many people watch the NIT?
Well, that's actually a good
Nobody.
point. How many
Exactly.
teams are in the
so,
NIT?
so don't put them in the NCAA tournament. There's
Wait, wait.
already a place for
How
them.
many teams are in the NIT? How many teams?
Oh, I'd have to look that up.
Because nobody knows.
Because
Because
I
nobody cares.
there's like a decent amount, but who cares? The NIT is the I like to call it the not invited tournament.
Ralph, why are you coming
Tournament.
up here with these bad ideas?
Because college basketball just does it all wrong.
You're
I mean, it's
just bitter because
I
your
just-
team stinks.
No, I mean, SC could make the NIT. Who cares? I mean, it's just
Well, the
it's
NIT is that's like
like
dating your
rankings during the
sister.
season.
but
really
yeah,
don't
and
matter.
you know what? They're going to do what most big schools do when they qualify for the NIT. Don't go.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, we'll
the
just-
teams are just like, no thanks.
Thanks. No thanks.
It's additional practice. We could play some more games, but you know what?
I mean,
these
30
guys are done playing basketball.
32 teams make the NIT.
Wow.
So there you go. We got
Yeah.
100 teams are playing in
Yeah.
the tournament after. I mean,
But the NIT is clearly the tournament that nobody gives a damn about. You can't treat it like the rest of it. It clearly isn't.
The NIT is a tournament nobody gives a damn about.
Right. So if you kill it off and you send them all over and do 100 team thing, like
I think-
Ralph wants to do,
So you saying put the NIT teams in with the other 68
you get
teams?
Scottsdale
Sure.
Community College playing number one, some team like I don't know who's number one right now. Who's number one?
it changes every week.
UConn versus Scottsdale Community College.
Artichokes.
I just want to see
And then
like a-
Scottsdale Community College wins, and everybody's
Right.
mad as hell
because
about
it'll
that.
happen. I guarantee
It can't happen.
Sure
I
it
mean,
can.
we're already we've been doing March Madness for how long now?
Too long.
And we have had 2 16
Too long.
seeds beat
Boy.
a 1 ever.
It's possible.
Ever.
It's possible.
Ralph is grouchy on this
I
Friday.
am. I just don't
Ever.
want
Why
to
do you-
college
and it's
basketball.
Why
recent.
did you come in here all grouchy and crap?
I just don't like men's college basketball. It's
Well, you just,
abolish it.
Why don't you just be
Abolish it.
why don't,
abolish it.
why don't you
It's-
just be polite and don't be all cranky?
You know what would be cool is if we got the top 30 teams or the top 20 teams in college basketball, men's to play the top WNBA teams in the tournament. That'd be fun to watch.
They watch
Would it?
USC
would be
gets
fun.
beat by a WNBA team.
Come on, you wouldn't like to watch that, Keon? You'd watch that.
I'm intrigued, but I'm always
I-
wrong about that. So
I mean, I don't know. It
course
just
you
it just seems weird. Like the men's college basketball, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I wish that players would stay longer because we don't have any of those
Well-
personalities we used to have. So you don't know anybody.
That's what I don't like.
By
It's
the
one year
time you
now.
start to get to like a player, they're already in the draft. You're just like, okay, well, cool. I guess.
Oh, who's that guy with Purdue? That big tall guy? That
Oh, Zach Edey.
or what's his name?
Zach Edey.
Beetlegeist. What's his
Yeah,
name?
yeah,
The big
His
tall.
name
lanky
is
guy.
Zach Edey.
Oh, there
Stretch.
it is. There it
I don't know.
is. Zach Eating.
Mhm.
That guy
yeah.
right there.
And
So-
he's the only one, and he doesn't have much of a personality. It's unfortunate.
Berg is on
Good
the text
guy.
line. Says first. Okay, do we still do that?
What?
Okay, yeah. Berg was first on the text line. He says, "Have a great Friday, guys. Don't have a witty Big George Friday saying." That's good because you noticed I don't read those anymore. I just skip right to whatever the hell he's trying to tell me, and I don't do the a happy hump day. Oh my
Wow.
God. I don't like to be Squidward living next to George's SpongeBob, but whatever. I'll set his pineapple on fire. Anyway,
Dang, I thought I was in a bad mood.
The Berg says NIT, not important tournament. That's what it stands for, and he is correct.
I've always called it the not invited tournament. If you get invited to the NIT, it's because Big Dance. We didn't.
You don't want to be.
Texas won the NIT one year, and I found out because the box score popped up on my phone. I didn't watch the whole tournament. I didn't know.
You had a shirt.
An NIT shirt? Stop.
I know you did.
Stop.
Somebody's on the text line I've never seen before and says Roman numeral for 100 is C. Okay.
So
then learned a new thing that I'll probably not remember, but thanks.
Might not be in my lifetime, but there will be a Super Bowl C. You know, they should play that one in Mexico. I mean, seriously, by then there'll be teams there. So
42 years from now, and you're what? 59?
Everybody be like Super Bowl C. I'm not 59,
So
you
what, you'll be
sack
like-
of crap. You're
Now
59.
who's in a bad mood?
I'm 53. And I'm not thrilled about that either.
And he doesn't look over a day over 56.
That's
I
right.
was going to say 58.
Yeah.
When he takes the hat off, 63.
Yeah. Oh, I got the grays are on the side. Beer Bob says, hey guys, give Ralph a break. If you look like him, wouldn't you be grouchy all the time? Yeah, I think anytime there's a reflective surface, that could be why Ralph gets grumpy.
Oh, man.
Ah, damn it, I see myself again. Hook'em Hottie says Texas won the NIT a few years ago. I'm sure Keon cared that year.
I literally found out the day after. I didn't watch the game.
He's got a tattoo.
He does have a tattoo.
I do have a tattoo. Just
A
not
little
just
tiny
not a-
knife on his
Yeah,
leg.
It's not a Texas tattoo.
It's got a little tiny knife.
It's of the knife he was thinking of using on himself when this team made it to the NIT tournament.
Yeah. Why did they say no like a
Yeah.
normal team?
Big George says, somebody check on Ralph's blood sugar. He's in a bad mood. Also, that swipe at me was not warranted, Jeffrey. What gives? It's the same crap I say all the time. I don't like to say the first stuff you say in your very first text with your happy this or your dumb this. And I never do say you're well. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to let that
Wow.
become your thing, George. Your texts are fine as they are. Don't make me read and say inane things every day. That's all. Just another face in the crowd says Jeffrey O'Brien, soothsayer of sports.
Or elevators, depending on.
Soothsayer?
Just a weird random coincidence that I said somebody would get stuck in an elevator in college basketball. Who knew?
We
Who
need
knew?
to control that power, Jeffrey. I mean, listen, we could market this.
I wish I could.
Talking all kinds of money here. If you could speak stuff into existence like that, you just got it a little off. You were talking about who was it? Utah State.
Maybe I was just off.
What was
Utah
the team?
Tech, yeah.
Utah Tech.
Let's talk about Ralph getting
If-
stuck
if
in an
we could-
elevator.
See, if
That's
we
what
could
we
get
got.
I've been stuck in
Utah
one.
Tech
Me too.
stuck in it. Of course, there's
I'm
not
scared.
really an elevator anywhere. Well, there might be
Why
on
were
the
you
campus
scared?
of
I
GCU,
don't like being stuck in little places.
but I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
There's a joke there. I'm
yeah,
gonna
there
leave
is.
it. I'm
There is,
gonna
'cause I
leave
see
it right
Keon's
there.
face.
I heard it. There's like 19 going across the screen in my head right now.
Yeah.
What
What were you saying?
hell, I don't
I
know
don't know
now
either,
because
yeah.
I've got all these jokes I'm trying
Too
to put
many.
away.
Too many in the head.
Thinking about
Yeah.
little places, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't. I'm generally not allowed into small places, Ralph. You should know that by now.
Hello.
Wow.
Well, it's let's divert
Why? This is going so well.
our thought processes.
By the way, Ralph, last week, Weekend Warrior show sounded pretty good.
Thank you.
Did it? I mean, yes, it did.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
No,
It was great.
it did. Sounded pretty good.
So good. So great. I like the part where you
What
said
part?
that thing.
I like the part where you fired Neil and asked Keon to come in and run the damn thing.
And Keon quit that moment.
Yeah, he's not here for you, Ralph. He's not here for
He
you.
is. He just doesn't know it.
Technically, he kind of is.
No, he's not.
A couple of degrees of separation, but
I worry about this next one, but we have to mention it. Caitlin Clark, she broke the NCAA women's basketball all-time scoring record and set a single game record as well last night. And yay! I don't know. What else am I supposed to say about this? This is great. Good for her. I mean, how far she passed Kelsey Plum. And
she plays basketball,
right? And she did that in 139 games when she was at Washington from 2013 to 2017. How many games did it take the Caitlin Clark to do it? You're like, he's like, I had no idea we would talk about this.
No, I really just assumed we wouldn't.
126.
Much less because that's all Iowa
Caitlin
has.
Clark
Yeah,
did it
she is
the offense.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure about this, but I think Iowa's coach might be a fraud in that they're running the Bel Air Academy offense out there, whereas just give the ball to Will,
right?
Give the ball to Caitlin, and just get out of the way. She scored 49 last night. I mean, it's not like
Bel Air Academy. Are they playing on the same court?
49 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and yes, they did win.
And the for the record, she shot the 3 from a million miles away. So just
from the logo.
Yeah, because she can't. I mean, just the range is unlimited.
She went all Dame Lillard on the thing.
What is she a senior?
No,
yeah.
I think
what is she?
I thought she was a junior.
I think she's a junior. Yeah.
So will she leave college and go to the WNBA, or does she have to finish college? I don't know how the rules work.
I mean,
let's take a pay cut. Yeah.
I mean, I think once you're 3 years out, well, not really. If they're advertising with you now, they'll advertise with you then.
I've never seen her in an ad. Who's advertising where they're down?
I don't know what the sponsors are.
Piggly Wiggly's
like a lot of it is
got to be a Piggly Wiggly.
A lot of it is
something to do with
social
corn.
media stuff. But like, yeah, for her, it's just like she goes. She's the number 1 overall pick right away.
Corn dogs.
I would just go.
What I'm saying is,
she can. Yeah, she can actually do it.
Do you think she will? It'll take her Jolly Green Giant client with her.
I don't.
It's not Jolly Green. It's corn.
I know, but they have corn. They got corn. Jolly Green Giant sells corn.
They get it from Iowa. It's National Corn Harvesters Association.
But yeah, I think with her, it's just I don't know what the plans are, because I know that a lot of women's players, they stay the whole 4 years. Which actually makes it a more interesting sport to me, because
they really need that degree for what they're really going to do in life later on.
For the opposite of that, and the WNBA doesn't have the same one and done rule. You can't leave after 1 year anyway, so like you might as well stay and get your degree. There's no pretending to go to school like happens a lot on the men's side of things. So like, yeah, I think that, you know, if she wants to go, she's the number 1 pick whenever she decides to go.
I mean, could she make more as a cashier at Piggly Wiggly versus WNBA? Where would she?
It's close.
No, she would make
She could drive one of those big combines out there in the cornfield somewhere.
That you gotta be careful.
She can make cash.
You can lose an arm in that.
Well, yeah, but she'll be in the cab though.
Sure.
So
well,
she doesn't care
until something gets in there, and you know it happens. We see stories about this all the time.
Oh, that's true.
So Caitlin Clark. Now everybody's they always throw out these meaningless platitudes, but let's answer their question. Is she the best women's basketball player of all time? She set the all-time scoring record. She set a single game record. But if you look at the entirety of what you've seen so far, is she the best female college basketball player of all time?
Obviously you score more points than anybody else. You're in the conversation. But I watched Candace Parker play. I'm sorry. I still think Candace Parker is the best women's college basketball player I've ever seen.
I kind of like Lisa Leslie, but
Lisa Leslie is there. Cheryl Miller's in the conversation. Maya Moore, but
I don't know who these
Candace Parker.
Yeah, you do.
No,
I mean, if you've watched TNT, like Candace Parker's been on, so like you've definitely seen her.
Is she at the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I
She
know
was a
her.
great player.
She's
She
seen.
played for
Oh
the
no,
Sparks.
that's right. She's the one that told off Charles Barkley. She
Or
told him
Shaq.
One of those two.
Yeah,
okay.
that was her.
Yeah,
And,
but I wouldn't know her.
but yeah, no, I still think it's Candace.
I'll you know what? You know better than any of us do, so we'll take your word for it. If anybody wants to disagree with Keon, feel free to, but we'd rather move on to real sports. Anyway, let's do that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender.
Why bother?
I'm just
Why bother?
serious. That's all. Stop. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA, the Phoenix Suns heading into the All-Star break with the All-Star game set for Sunday in Indianapolis. The Suns will return on Thursday of next week on the road to face the Dallas Mavericks. Early line for that game, Phoenix a 2-point underdog plus 112 on the money line, while the Mavericks minus 132. The over-under at 243.5. As for the All-Star game, the West, the favorite by 3 points, minus 148. East plus 126. The over-under 364.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Today, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Now, Keon, you know why you just said that to get a rise out of you.
I know
it bothers you every time, and that's why I do it. I wouldn't have talked about it if I didn't think it was real sports. You know, women's sports is real sports. You guys all think I'm going to say war. I'm not.
The other shoe. I'm just like it's around the corner somewhere. I can't.
In all sincerity,
it's around the corner.
Yeah. In all sincerity, no, it is, and it's interesting. You see Ionescu nailing 3-point shots, and Caitlin Clark, who's just scoring like crazy. And I keep thinking at some point you can have some men and women playing basketball together, and everybody always goes, I just want to encourage maybe female basketball from school on up. Start playing with a regular size ball. Start shooting from the same 3-point line. Get everybody on the same page. If you say every one of those rims, they got to be the same height, well, then make the game equal in just those 2 other ways. And then when you get further on, somebody who's like just transcendent talent could play against men as much as they could play against women. And I think that it would be cool to see someday, maybe a lady playing on the men's team, whether it be college or NBA.
I the range that a lot of women, especially that I noticed in college basketball, are already shooting from. Like, I don't see why the 3-point line has to stay shorter. Like, there's to me, there is no good reason to keep it there.
But is it because a majority of the girls can't hit from the men's 3-point line?
I think that was true at one point.
But you don't think it's that way now?
No, the majority of the men couldn't hit from this 3-point line at first. That's why they kept pushing it out to make those points worth more, and it took time, training, and learning to get it.
The way these guys are shooting nowadays, I push the damn 3-point line out even farther.
People have talked about that, to where you kind of eliminate that corner three, because now we just have this nonsensical thing in basketball where the corner three is still shorter. Because if you made it as long as the rest of the 3-point line, you'd be out of bounds.
Right.
So, like,
that's a harder shot, though, because there's no glass to bounce off of, really. So.
I mean, maybe, but once you're shooting a three, you already don't want that. So,
but back to the men and women. So, okay, we agree on the 3-point thing. So let's agree on let them use the same slice ball.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, if they do things could get interesting.
I have no say in it, but I don't see why. Like, there have been guys in the NBA that have had a lot of success. Nate Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, not the Pistons Isaiah Thomas, the other Isaiah Thomas. And they're smaller guys. They're like 5'9", 5'10".
Let them play with the women.
And they are using the regular NBA ball. So at that point, it's like, if they're smaller, they've got smaller hands than a guy that's 6'5", then what's the problem? What are we doing? Just play with the same ball.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, the ladies don't want to be on with the men, and whatever. Fine. I'm just saying, it's exciting to see when you start to get more recognizable stars in women's sports that are achieving levels of excellence, and then the game gets better and better, and at that point, maybe it gets more interesting.
Well, you feel really bad about that comment, don't you?
Not at all. That was funny.
No. Jeffrey said.
You should have seen the stare he gave me after we turned
off
the mics.
I thought it was funny.
Look,
Jeffrey's
say
that every time.
Yeah, and it'll hurt every single time. So anyway,
and now listen, if these ladies want to play with the men, as long as they get their chores done first, I have no problem with it. None. See, that's just, again, another.
Yeah, you set him up. You throw the alley oop, he throws down the dunk, and that's just kind of how we go.
There's no evil when there's no evil intent. So, anyways, it's just nice to see that there are things happening with women's sports that makes it better.
People have been photoshopping her into a Pistons jersey, because it's just like, it can't get worse. Have you seen the Pistons play, Ralph?
Yes, you can do worse than Jordan Poole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, with the Pistons,
get you a Caitlin Clark in there now, won't you?
The Pistons have won 10 games with the human beings out there on the floor. At the very least, Caitlin Clark would give you somebody who could.
She'd never get a shot off. Come on.
It's a quick release, man. I don't know that that's true.
We're not talking about that. I'm saying
I'm talking about the shot. Yeah. Where's your mind?
You think that Caitlin Clark would never get a shot off?
Come on, man. I hear all the nice, pretty things.
She's tall enough. She's got the handle. She's not a spot up shooter, and she waits.
I think she's great. She stays in her lane. I think she's great. She can't play in the NBA.
Okay.
Give me a break. Come on.
All right, Archie Bunker. All right.
No, I mean, I'm just being realistic.
I just think that if
you're right.
I think if you're a shooter, that's a different. It's a different thing entirely. Shooters
it's
can
totally
shoot.
Different game.
She's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, she's real big. She's 6 foot.
But if Trae Young can get a shot off,
Muggsy Bogues will block her. I mean, come on.
Trae Young can't block anybody. So let's not do that. Trae Young,
years old.
Trae Young is my argument to exactly what it is that you're saying. Trae Young can get a shot off, and Trae is tiny and small. There's nobody in the league
sweating,
fast and strong and amazing.
Trae Young is strong, Ralph. You watch Hawks games, because you clearly don't. If you think Trae,
I mean, come on,
Trae. Ralph, Trae.
I could beat Caitlin in arm wrestling.
You could also beat Trae in arm wrestling. It doesn't prove anything.
Those little dudes are.
Trae Young's only 6'1".
Yeah,
Trae.
He's very weak too.
If the rules of today's game weren't what they were, I don't know if that guy's surviving in the league. Look,
man, Trae Young
in today's NBA. Where you can't
Trae Young. What is he playing in last era?
And I like Trae, but come on.
That's who I thought we were getting when they said They got T. Young for the Suns. I'm like, oh, Trey Young. They're
Isn't
like,
he
no,
scoring like
Thaddeus
25
Young.
a
Thaddeus
game?
Young. No,
Very disappointing.
no.
I mean, Trey's a successful basketball player, right? Am I wrong?
He is.
Oh, okay.
On
And what how does he do it is what I'm bringing up. I'm not saying Trey's not good.
He has a penis, Keon. He's got a penis.
Oh, okay.
How does he do it?
Hadn't
I don't know
realized
if that has
was,
anything to do with it.
that was
but
the
okay.
deciding factor. Because if Trey Young and his tiny small frame that gets
Whoa.
knocked
I
around
thought he was
everywhere,
gonna say penis.
gets
That's what I was gonna say.
gets a shot off.
Not a very
You can't
nice
tell
thing.
me she won't get
Rumor.
a shot off. That's
Oh,
insane.
no wonder he's got sweaty baby here.
That's it.
I'm just saying she's going to have trouble getting open and getting the ball swatted back in her face, left and right. I mean, come on, she's 6 foot. She's got like a 3-inch vertical. It's not. It's not.
You
gonna
don't
be
know
the
that.
same.
A 3-inch,
a 3-inch vertical.
Well, I
No,
get like a 4-inch.
Ralph,
So
it's
hers is
just
about 3.
fine. You
Ralph.
can make up. You can
Ralph.
make up Caitlin Clark scenarios.
But how
since you
much
don't
in
watch it? But
how
that's-
much in heels? I'm just saying.
Well,
It just
yeah, I can't argue that. Those Nike heels, sneakers, yeah, those are.
Pineapple Express says, Ralph, I like your Weekend Warriors show. Very interesting and entertaining. You just need some more texter input. Keep
And
up
actually-
the good work.
Thank you very much. And actually, this week we are going to allow some texting input, so I'm looking forward to that.
Quiet Cannon says, too bad you talk yourself out of it, Jeffco. You could have made some money on Utah Tech. No, I'd have lost. Well, I guess on the spread.
on
I bet
the spread, but the spread didn't have as good of odds as the money line did. So
Yeah, I'd
you,
lost
you wouldn't
on
have
money.
Yeah, you would have made very little.
Big George says, interesting. Caitlin Clark is a beast and is actually pretty cute. Her boyfriend is one lucky guy.
What?
Big George, you are
Who said that?
married.
He says
What?
she's cute. Have you seen pictures of Caitlin Clark?
Big,
I don't wanna be
Big
that way,
George
come
said
on.
that.
It must have been a while.
Huh.
Swazman says, how about NIT? No interesting teams. Also applicable. I
Also
think, right?
applicable. Yeah. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, North Carolina turned down an invitation to the old NIT.
And they should. It's a bad
Well,
tournament.
that year they shouldn't have. But
Donnie says, Ralph, do you think you could beat Caitlin Clark in a game to 10? First
no,
to
I'm not a
10?
basketball player. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying.
If
I'm not making
Caitlin
that-
Clark played Trey Young one-on-one and
I
she
can-
got the
I
ball
can-
first, she'd beat him.
He can beat her to crap talking.
I guarantee. Wait a second. Okay, let's go down the road. Wasn't there a game between a top high school team and a women's NBA?
No, you're thinking soccer.
No, I know that happened in soccer, but I thought it happened in basketball as well.
Not to my knowledge.
I would take the top high school players in the country against the top women college players all day long. And you
mean guy
you
players?
know
You mean
guys,
high school guys?
And you know those guys would
Boys.
destroy that women's team.
Young
It
men.
wouldn't even be close.
I don't know about that.
Young men.
Young
I would put every dollar of your paycheck.
Young men.
Well, let's see. No, bet your money if you're so
I would
confident.
bet my paycheck.
Yeah, don't bet my paycheck. Every
bet-
I
dollar.
want yours too.
I'll bet Ralph's house on it.
It's not very much. You wouldn't win very.
Oily Stool says, I hear Caitlin Clark's actually a senior, so actually this is her final year.
Oh,
So there you go.
Well, they were chanting last night, at least on the highlight that I saw, one more year.
Yeah, go
So I
sit
thought
back.
she was a
Could.
junior.
Maybe she
Graduate
could.
school.
I mean, you can go to graduate school and have one more year of eligibility.
There's a NFL quarterback.
But
I mean, a
why?
guy. I'm sorry. There's a college quarterback who's been there for 9 years. You know,
the
in his
tight end
yearbook-
at Miami.
his
is-
yearbook underneath it says, "Why are you here?"
Yeah, it's a tight end.
the tight end at
what
Miami's
it
been
is?
there for 9 years. Yeah.
Manitoban Moose says, I'd like to see women's and men's athletic events and competitions be mixed as well, including mud wrestling and stripping. Dude, you want to see men strippers?
Wow.
Is that what you just said? You just want to see men and
you can
women?
just-
She is a senior, by the way. Caitlin Clark.
You can keep that between you and your internet service provider, sir. You don't have to tell us all of your fantasies.
I feel like I got to clear my browser just having read that text.
I would.
Henry from Jamaica says, Ralph, when are you opening the text line? Just like a millennial would say, Ralph doesn't want the smoke.
It's opening up tomorrow.
So the show, the Weekend Warriors with Ralph and that Neil guy, will be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and the text line shall be open.
It will be, and we are talking nothing
Wow.
but baseball. It's all baseball tomorrow.
All baseball tomorrow.
All right, fair enough.
Entertaining.
No, this is a good time of year for that. It's a good time of year for that. And of course, be a whole lot of Dodger.
Nope. No interviews tomorrow. It's all baseball, and it's all us.
Nobody say anything about interviews. You're just gonna be talking Dodgers for the.
Nope, not talking Dodgers at all. We're talking some good stuff.
Oh, you're talking good baseball. All right. Okay. No, I got you. That's a refreshing thing to hear. Yeah, yeah. So in the basketball, in the men's kind, and in the NBA,
Yeah.
man, I gotta tell you, Doc Rivers ain't going to make it. He's not going to last long if he keeps this up. So here's first exhibit. Your Honor, the Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Lillard, Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Grizzlies. There you go. I could rest my case right there. Convict him of being a fraud of a coach, right? And then I said, but here's something he said I'd like to enter into the evidence. Here's what he said. He's like, you're talking about, well, we missed a shot and how things started. He said, if that tells you all you need to know about where our heads were, we had some guys here, and then we had some guys in Cabo. Aren't you the coach? Isn't your job to help them get their heads here and not in Cabo? I mean, that is like one of the worst things you've ever heard. This sounds like, by the way, and looks like, by the way, a badly coached team. You're going to say that out loud with your mouth.
Well, I mean,
we had some guys here, but we had some guys in Cabo.
Well, it's the last game before the NBA All-Star break.
We got one guy in an unemployment league.
You got these guys that are kind of thinking about what's up ahead. Maybe their head's not in the game. Because,
it's not even
because
you're All-Star break.
Because you're exactly right. They were playing the Memphis Grizzlies, and maybe they weren't completely focused.
Okay, but here's the problem with that. There were 3 NBA games last night. The Bucks losing to the Grizzlies. The Warriors were playing the Jazz, who they should have beat to death. And, they didn't beat them to death, but they won that game.
Yeah, they won the game by 2 points?
No, you
3.
mean the Clippers. They played
3.
the Clippers.
The Warriors?
Yeah, the Warriors played the Clippers.
No,
last night, the Warriors played the Jazz.
You're right. That was the other game.
And then the other game was the Timberwolves playing the Trailblazers, and they did beat them to death. Those two teams could overlook their opponents, but they won their games. Milwaukee was sleepwalking.
I mean, if you saw the Golden State game, I watched a bunch of highlights.
I did catch some of that.
Nobody was playing defense.
They looked like they were sleepwalking in the second half. The Golden State.
The thing is, they are just genuinely bad at defense right now. So,
when you see a score of 140 to 137, that was regulation time, right?
Yeah.
There's no defense being played. This is just a race to a higher score.
Yeah. I also should point out that Utah's a better team than Memphis is.
No doubt. Memphis should have got their brains beat in by this Bucks team.
Milwaukee played a bad first half, kind of got back in it in the third, and then just fell back asleep for the rest of the game. It was terrible. It's honestly, it was so bad. You can't say, we got some guys in Cabo. You should have not been telling that to the media. You should have been telling that to them when the game was happening. Because they're 3-7 with you as a coach.
You in Cabo or you here? Are you in Cabo or are you here?
I mean, that would have worked, I think.
Coach, I'm in Cabo.
But when they fire a coach and then replace him with you, and then they're 3-7 since you've arrived, I don't know if the problem's Cabo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's the Milwaukee Bucks. Let me remind you who this is. The Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, it's like we said, when they made the change, the coaches change, we were all kind of scratching our head.
Why Doc Rivers?
I mean, why are you bringing in Doc Rivers? Oh, and we said that the general manager is going to have to live or die by this decision.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
If this doesn't flush out to be a good decision, then Doc Rivers goes away, and so does this GM.
Tell you what, yeah, this GM will go away. I guarantee it. This GM will go away.
He has to, because you've now hired 2 coaches that you fired.
I don't know that he's going to go away right now. I mean, probably
not right this moment. Yeah, but
if the Bucks don't pan out playing good basketball,
and they better start, because they had the second best record in the East when Doc Rivers took over. They're now 3rd.
All right, listen, we got to take a break. Let's come back and talk some more NBA. We'll get to your texts on the text line too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-364-1031 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-364-1031. That's 800-364-1031. What do you have to lose? Call 800-364-1031. Again, 800-364-1031.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harmon Solar podcast first?
The what?
The Harmon Solar podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harmon Solar podcast. Go check it out at harmonsolar.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off.
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit TalkNowAZ.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
It's Dave Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. You want to get the best out of Klay Thompson, all you got to do is put him on the bench.
Piss him off.
Get him off the bench. No, he knew that he wasn't playing right, and he was feeling kind of horrible about the whole thing. But the first time they started off the bench, he came out there and he did 35 points playing against the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, well, but he said after the game last night, he apologized to the assistant coaches. So he was pissed when he found out he wasn't going to be starting.
So I'm sure that's his first reaction.
Yeah, I mean, but he also talked about it to the media, earlier in the week, and he said that, if that's the role I have to take, for the good of the team, I'll do it. I'm obviously not happy about it, but I'll do it, because he is a good teammate. He is trying to check his ego at the door and say, yeah, I'm not the player I used to be, which is a hard thing to realize, but he's still a player that has value. He can still play. It's just, you're going to have to reduce your minutes and maybe even have you go up against a second unit rather than starters. The shot's still there.
So every now and then I'm a little late getting to some texts. Say Hamilton Porter.
Are you now?
The entire hour. First he says, tell me you guys heard what Doc Rivers' press conference. What a line. We just talked about it. Some of these guys are in Cabo.
Yeah.
He says Jeffrey is like Biff from Back to the Future 2.
What?
I wish I was from the future, and oh man, I'd get very rich if I had some.
Biff.
If I had that,
How are you like Biff?
because I had the sports betting book. That's what he said. Because when I predicted those guys in the elevator.
Okay, yeah, all right. Now it rings the bell.
Then he
All right.
says the Pistons have won as many games this year as the franchise made the Eastern Conference Finals in a row in the early 2000s. Guess it doesn't take long for a franchise to fall off. Fair enough. So there you go. Sorry I was late in reading your text. Sometimes that just happens. Some people get mad. Oh, I get some texts on here. I guess I just won't text you in anymore. You're too woke. You don't read my text.
You're too woke.
And then you're like, you're a conservative son of a bitch. You won't read mine because you think I'm.
I've never heard anyone call you conservative.
No,
Libtard,
that is well in your dumb brain. You think that way, but since I'm in the middle, I piss everyone off.
Middle of what? Left?
The
middle left.
The middle of your mom. Shut up.
Wow. Damn.
Damn.
Haruto says, wow. Hello, Mr. White, Mr. Rose, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Romano. He's very polite, and he actually made the effort to know Ralph's last name. Because usually when we say Ralph, it's followed by like a-hole, stuff like that. So the fact he actually went and found Romano, props to you, Haruto. He says, I had no idea this show was so misogynistic. This program would be a huge success in Japan and in North Korea.
Here we go.
No, that was an insult, boys. That was an insult. We're not misogynistic. Ralph is.
No, he's not. That's ridiculous.
He is. The rest of us were enlightened,
enlightened,
good people. Quiet Cannon says, having women in men's sports and vice versa, what a spectacle. What a boring concept. Yeah, you're probably right.
A boring concept?
Well, Ralph, I gotta say, for as much as we could say Ralph is wrong about some of his thought processes, the way he dresses, and the teams that he likes, we can't say he's wrong that women jumping in playing against men, that 99% of the time they'd get destroyed.
Well, okay, but
I'm just pulling for that 1%.
Yeah, but everybody's talking about this.
Not the 1% Ralph pulls for.
Everybody's talking about this 3-point shoot off between Curry and
Ionescu.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to say that
that's just fun?
Well, that's fun. But I think it's interesting. I want to see how she does.
It will prove nothing.
Well, I want to see how she does under pressure, because it's going to be under pressure.
Sure.
Against Steph Curry.
But I think a woman can do great in that scenario.
She doesn't have a man in her face trying to stop her.
Well, I understand that, but in a man's environment, this is the NBA All-Star game. This is not the WNBA.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I don't know if you heard. She's going to shoot from her 3-point line with a small ball, and he's going to shoot from his 3-point line with a big ball.
Which I kind of understand, just because you're not. Yeah, it's what you're used to. I think it would be unfair to ask Steph Curry to suddenly use a smaller ball and shoot from a closer distance, because it's not what he hasn't been shooting that way this whole time. Now you're going to ask him.
I understand what you're saying. This is the NBA All-Star game. She should shoot with the NBA ball. What is it? A whole inch larger, and she should shoot. She even said, I'll shoot from the guy's 3-point line.
I had an idea.
Then have Steph come back for a rematch at the WNBA All-Star game, use the women's ball.
I like that.
I like that. That would be cool. Yeah, they didn't think that all the way through.
Have them both shoot with the same ball from the women's, have them both shoot with the same ball from the men's in that contest.
Do it correctly.
Add a little degree of fun.
They didn't do that, and she said she'd be willing to shoot from the.
She said, "I'll take you on, no problem. I'll even shoot from the men's."
I don't think anybody's criticizing her.
I'm simply saying that you have a good idea. She had a good idea. So naturally, the NBA is not going to
Ralph. So let's real quick about the misogyny thing. First of all, what I want to say to you,
can you spell it?
On the radio, but I'll just let that go. You know what you can do with your misogyny. Second of all, I'm just stating fact that women against men doesn't work, and it's because of their biological being. It's just how it is. Now, can a lady from WNBA shoot just as well from the outside as? Absolutely. I'm not saying they don't have a skill set, and it's a great skill set, but I'm saying you put them head to head, it's a different game. It's just how it is. I mean, that's biology. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. You know what you can do with your misogyny comment. Okay? Done.
I still want to see you spell misogyny.
I don't know. I've played enough pickup ball where
Ralph is typing it in Google right now.
I'd say tell Hiroto to go back to North Korea and deal with it there. I tell you.
He's not from North Korea, so there's no North Korea to go back to.
No reason for to take it out on him. I mean, good night.
Well, he said we're misogynistic. I'm telling him what he can do with it.
I think he was just kidding.
I'm not.
Big George says, I told you hiring Doc Rivers was a huge mistake, but you all laughed at me. We didn't laugh at you.
We did not laugh at you. Not one person on this show laughed at you, George.
Is this Falsehood Friday? Is that what this is?
No, Big George does this all the time. Big George will say he predicted something that we all agreed with. Even people texting into the show agreed with. But he was the only person in a sea of reason to say that this was a dumb idea.
Wow.
I mean, just Big George, come on. You know that's not true. You know that's not true.
Anybody saying, wow, Doc Rivers going to the Bucks. What a great idea.
Nobody. The closest thing we had was I was trying to say I could understand why you would move on from Adrian Griffin. Not one person said, but the obvious choice is Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Who said that?
0%.
Big George did.
I dare you to find the clip of us laughing at you.
I think ESPN was just like, Thank God. Get us on. Get Reddick back here. Get JJ Reddick back in here. The Big T says Tiger withdraws. Oh, I'm getting hammered. Oh, you had bets on him, did you?
Oh boy.
What were you thinking?
That was a mistake.
Yeah, we'll talk about Tiger here in a minute. We'll talk about that. Jiggy says, wow, Jeffrey is snappy today. I love it. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm any different today than I'm any other day. Booze and Raider says, you're all kind of grumpy today. Perk up. Have a cocktail.
I'm not grumpy at all.
Am I
What are you talking about? You
In
give
fact,
Jeffrey a death stare.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Jeffrey's
I did get
been
it.
talking smack the whole show.
I do that every day. So.
And every time Jeffrey says that, I give him the
I've
death
been a little
stare.
angry.
That's
Yeah,
not
you
anger.
can't. You showed up angry.
I've been
That's
a
just
little
a
angry.
reflex.
By the way, Hiroto, I was just kidding.
I'm two levels.
It's Haruto.
I'm too many.
Whatever your name is, I was just playing with you.
I'm too many coffees deep. Is what my problem is. I'm not
Either buy a
angry at all.
Japanese car or pronounce his name right. We've done enough to
Okay,
those
what is
people.
it? What's it?
Haruto.
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 I always do a little bow. I catch myself doing it. I always say Haruto.
The only Japanese I, the
Little
only
bow, he
Japanese
does-
I
he does
know
do a bow.
is Otani.
Oh, brother. Quiet Cannon says, man versus woman professional basketball player contest would be a good halftime show at, say, like the All-Star game. That might be interesting. Now, in the end, it would just be comical and it'd be horrible. You know, I'm just saying there's going to be some woman who can play along with the guys. There is, but you know, just we don't have that. Maybe we never will. But you know, I don't know. I'm always sort of optimistic. Moist one says, "You've been ignoring me all day." That was your first text dip bleep.
Wow.
Dip bleep. Wow.
You don't even. I can't even tell you what he said about you, Ralph.
Why would he talk bad about me?
He said Ralph is so massaging this D. Okay. Haruto says, sorry, Mr. Romano. I was kidding. See, I
I
told
was
you.
kidding too. You know, I'm just playing with you.
Big George says, I know, Keon. Dang. Don't jump down my throat. Oh, here comes
Wait,
Moist one next.
There we go.
Yeah, no, you're inviting a moist one text we'll all regret. But Big George, if you know that, then why did you say why did you tell a lie?
He says, Jeffrey and Keon and Ralph. Randy's the only one on my side.
Who said this?
Big
It's because
George.
Randy had the
I told you
kindness.
that I'm on your side, Big George. What more do you want?
Randy had the kindness to not call you out on a blatant, obvious lie.
Sorry, Big George.
Big George, what the hell, man?
You and me,
Randy's
big fella.
talking about you too.
You and me, big fella.
So, you know, I don't know. Maybe we should get fined for lying. What if the FCC fined us for lying?
This show would be
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
we wouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well,
Just a bevy of misinformation. This show.
Ron would have done away with us a long time
He
ago.
couldn't afford to keep us. So
Be
PJ
like-
Tucker got the largest player fine of the season because he went out and said, somebody please come get me. I want to be traded. I want to go somewhere I'm needed. So $75,000 just for saying that. Yeah, he went out there on February 8th and he was like, hey, it's trade deadline. Somebody please, somebody come. I'm going to wait on the curb. I'm going to have my duffel bag. Mom, somebody pick me up. And nobody did. Nobody did. Why didn't
Who's he-
anybody pick him up?
Who's he
by the
playing
way?
with?
He's with the Clippers.
Yeah, he's
and because the Clippers don't want to give him away, but they're not using
They're
him
just
as
gonna
much
release him.
as he would like. Yeah, but that's better than
Deadline came, went, no trade. And he says, all this bleep is a bleeping joke. He's very angry. You think anybody's angry is PJ Tucker.
PJ. I mean, have you seen him? He is an angry person.
Well, now he's $75,000 poor because I guess you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you aren't. That's the reason why guys kind of, if they want to trade, they'll get passive aggressive and not really say what they mean because they just don't want to be fined. PJ has never been a passive aggressive person, though. I don't even
Can
think
you
he
do this?
Can
you go, if I'm PJ Tucker and they say, hey, what do you think? You're going to treat, you want to, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, Suns is a nice team. Very nice team. I like those guys.
He's been with us. Where
Oh.
I don't think we're
No,
going to
no,
go
I'm
back
just-
there.
I'm saying, it's like,
Yeah.
Mavericks is a nice team. I like those guys. Just start saying all these teams. This is a nicest guys. Good guys. Good guys. Why are you telling us that? No reason. No reason at all.
Just pointing out that these are the teams I like.
So, you know, he's nowhere now, right? I mean, he's still a Clipper.
He's still a Clipper, yeah.
All right.
And they don't have it. I think they still think they have a use for him, but he wants more minutes. He wants to play more. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not that guy anymore. Sad to say.
Yeah.
And their team's kind of loaded. So
We'll talk about, speaking of not that guy anymore, we'll talk about Tiger Woods in the next hour. Bruno Baller says, happens you guys heard lying is a new truth these days? Huh?
haven't you guys heard lying is the new truth?
Oh,
these
you were
days?
able
That
to
is by-
decipher that
yeah.
nonsense.
Have one on us.
Yep. Go with the other 5 you've had. Hamilton Porter says Caitlin Clark is the caveman from the Geico commercials. That's a bit rough.
That's unnecessary.
That's not
That
even
is
close.
unnecessary.
Not
Just-
even close.
What?
It's mean, but
Big George says, Ralph, I actually like your misogynistic jokes. He doesn't make any. He's actually just talking as Ralph. I'm the
No,
one
he's
making
not.
jokes.
no. Don't listen to him.
He says, will your Weekend Warrior radio show tomorrow have more misogynistic jokes?
Just crickets.
I dare you. I dare you. All right, got to take a break. Come back. It's hour 1. It's over. Hour 2 is next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm State School Superintendent Tom Horn. We need to improve students' proficiency in reading and math, which is my highest priority. I'm therefore providing $40 million for free one-on-one tutoring for all public and charter school students from first grade to high school, regardless of their proficiency level. And participating teachers earn money, which they deserve, for their work to improve students' learning. Sign up at azed.gov.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people, and much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting a K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harmon Solar is with us. You guys are on the text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And my text line is overloaded. Got to push some buttons and refresh this thing. So, anywho, hey, I just got to say, somebody brought this up to me in passing, and I really didn't pay attention to it because how do you get fired from a job that doesn't exist anymore? But I guess, yeah, they fired old what's his name? George Kliffkoff from the Pac-12. They like, yeah, we've decided to part ways effective February 29th. More details about the new leadership of the Pac-12. There's only 2 teams.
It's the Pac-2 right now.
I don't know why they even feel like they need to put out a. We knew. I mean, there's no reason for a press conference here.
More accurately described as the Mountain West plus 2 teams that used to be in the Pac-12. It's not the Pac-12. So they're going to fire George Kliavkoff.
It's the pack your bags, get out. That's what it is.
The Washington State athletic director would like for the Washington State Cougars to still be considered part of the Power Five. They would like the.
How much power do you think you have with 2 teams? There's no power.
You don't have any power. You're stuck.
0% power.
So are they joining the Mountain West Conference? Is that what they're doing?
I think they have a 2-year relationship, but they're not joining the Mountain West.
So they're going to be the Pac-2.
Mm-hmm.
I
Pac
mean,
2.5
until they rebuild it. I presume by raiding teams away from the Mountain West, because I don't know how else you're going to do it.
Wow.
Desert Viking says, I'm stuck working tomorrow, so I guess I'm going to have to listen to that Ralph guy. Tell him if he shows up with some Minnesota Twins content, I'll try to keep my conspiracy theories off of his text.
All right, there we go.
You talking Minnesota Twins tomorrow? You say you're not talking Dodgers, but you say you are talking baseball the whole time. How are you not going to talk about the Dodgers?
Well, I'm sure they'll come up in the conversation, but it's not that kind of conversation. We're going to be talking about some different things.
Ralph is making his bid because the commissioner announced that he's out after his term is up.
Ralph's out?
Ralph is making a run at the commissioner.
Oh, he wants to be the commissioner. He wants to replace Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You want to be the Manfred man?
I wish I could be.
I see what you did there.
Things.
Thank you.
Nice.
888-368-1580. Bruno Baller says, so Ralph's radio show lasts a 3rd week. I'm impressed. No, a lot of us are surprised, Bruno Baller. I'm not going to lie. Kenry from Jamaica says, Washington State has the same power as me, saying I'm the governor of Arizona. Yeah, you're about right. Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. Historian says, well, I guess it's time for the WSU to pack it in.
WSU to pack it in?
I say just join the Mountain West and try and help elevate that conference.
Good luck.
trying to you have a better shot of that than pretending you're still the Pac-12 with 2 teams.
I seriously don't. Yeah, exactly, Ralph.
I mean,
I agree with you. Be an independent
you
join the Pac-12.
You can.
Or
It's not impossible, but it is just a massive, headache and kind of logistical nightmare, making sure that you're able to have your schedule in such a way that you're able to fill out your schedule with quality teams. That's the reason why, even though Notre Dame is independent, they play football with the ACC, because it's impossible to just be an independent. Not impossible, but it's really hard to be an independent and then try and make your way to a college football playoff or something like that if you're going to be unaffiliated with a conference.
Why not join the Western Athletic Conference? Because then you would play teams. You play Montana, you play South Dakota. At least some of these teams, right? I mean, they're in the Mountain West or the Western Athletic Conference, right?
Yeah, you play Fresno State, I think.
Why not do that and make that and start working on that to build that as a power conference?
The WAC or the Mountain West. I mean, it's an uphill battle either way. But
so why do they want to hold on to this so tight? Why are they trying so hard to keep?
They want to be on the ground floor of the Pac-12 because they want control of the Pac-12 if there be no Pac-12. I know that. I know that. You know that.
But they're not thinking that way.
But they're betting on themselves as being the ruling school in a new conference.
This is crazy when you try to bet on yourself, but the odds are low.
Can we just pat them on the head and go in our way? That's why I just okay.
I mean, that's essentially what is going to happen.
Give them a little boop on the nose.
They are not gonna go down without fighting. It's gonna look really bad while they do it.
Yeah, I think that the best thing we can do is ignore them now.
Just if you because the Mountain West is the next best conference near you. Just roll with that. You're already doing it.
888-368-1580. I promised we would talk about the Genesis Invitational and Tiger Woods in this hour. And not much to tell you other than he has withdrawn from the tournament because he had some back spasms in the last couple of holes yesterday. He says, I came down, it didn't move, and
he shanked
it right into some tree or something. So there we go. I mean, he was doing along nice. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. He was just sort of kind of hanging in there. I mean, wherever the cut line was going to be, he was going to be fighting to make sure he was above it. But I guess he just wasn't physically ready.
It started out today. I guess he started out okay, and then by the time he got to the fourth hole, he was done. I'm sorry. After he got to the done with 6 holes, he withdrew because of illness. It says.
So, all right. What does this mean? What does this mean?
I don't know. He was sick. Maybe he had some bad fish last night.
Do you think? People will say it's probably because he took the pickles off his burger. Oh man, everybody on the internet just kind of lost their minds. He's over there getting himself a burger. They brought some In-N-Out, so he's like, "Oh, I got to do some of this." And he's like, "Nope." He took the pickles off, and everybody's just like, "Ah, you're not the GOAT anymore." Oh, but then pro-pickle people were fighting anti-pickle people. There's always something. But just pickles, come on.
Pickles are the most innocuous. If you have pickles and you like them on your sandwich, it makes the sandwich a little bit better. If you don't like them, you take them off, makes the sandwich a little bit better. I'm trying to understand what the war is here.
I don't get it. Yeah, sometimes I'll eat the hamburger with the pickle on there. Sometimes I'll be like, nah, not today. I don't think that's worth a whole lot of conversation. But of course, now the pro pickle lobby is going to say, See what happens, Tiger? Maybe you've left the pickles on. It would give you important amino acids that would have kept your back from locking up, and then you would have been fine.
What amino acids?
I don't know. I just had to say something that sounded healthy.
Here's the food breakdown.
Don't fight with me about pickles.
Of what's in pickles. It's pickles and salt. That's all that's in there. What else is in there?
Well,
vinegar.
I bet there is some acids in there. I don't know.
Vinegar. Some vinegar, yeah. But is that an amino acid? No, it's not.
Just don't argue with me on this. I'm just trying to say what the anti or pro pickle people would say.
The pro pickle.
I don't know that there's any health benefits to a pickle. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's
a cucumber that's been soaking in salt forever
and vinegar.
How could there be any health benefit to a pickle?
Well, cucumbers are healthy for you.
Not after you soak them in salt forever.
And vinegar.
Just thank you. And vinegar. Quiet Cannon says, Ralph, if you're ever commissioner of baseball, please don't allow women in Major League Baseball and no women umpires.
Sorry, that's already going to happen.
I have no problem with a woman umpire. What's wrong with that?
It's going to happen.
Yeah, Ralph is very used to a woman telling him what to do.
We don't have women. We don't have women
telling him when he's wrong.
Wait, we don't have women umpires
in
baseball.
Him when he's out.
Oh boy. We don't have women umpires in baseball right now, and they're already bad. What?
Yeah,
what are you protecting
we
it
have
from?
bad male umpires. I mean,
Yeah.
What are you protecting it from? I don't understand.
Get worse.
I mean, yeah.
Historian says, so Tiger got into a pickle? No, he threw the pickle out. The historian said it doesn't even work there.
Is that the same event where he got hurt, where he crashed his car?
In 2001.
He didn't crash his car at the event. He crashed his car on the way to the event.
Right. Well, it was after the event, actually. It was the day after the event.
He was going back to do a photo shoot with David Spade or something.
Somebody. And
no, it was him.
Really? Was it David Spade?
Wow.
So he was,
of all people,
he was showing up to do this
bad luck.
video shoot, and he lost control of the car and ultimately ended up upside down in this little ravine there. Yeah.
We'll never know the true story on that.
Speaking of Tiger, yesterday before he teed off, they were talking, Tiger's he's a part of the PGA board now. He and Rory are now part of the PGA board. Rory McIlroy.
Are they big, important, influential members
they
or
are
just honorary members?
No, they're influential. And as a matter of fact, so influential that Tiger at a press conference before he teed off or after, I don't know which, probably before he teed off, he said that he's been getting, there's emails and there's talks daily going on about allowing live golfers back in the PGA.
Why?
Well, try to reunify the golf world.
Why?
Because it's been decidedly broken. You've got guys that are on the live side. You got guys on the PGA side. You've got this kind of crack in the middle, and to try to reunify. But Tiger also revealed in this article that he wants to get away from taking the Saudi Public Investment Fund out of play. He said there's been a new contributor to golf, and it will replace what the Saudis were willing to put in play.
Well, what is it?
I'm trying to find it here. It's a £1 billion investment with Strategic Sports Group, SSG. Now, I don't know anything about SSG, but I think this is very interesting that Tiger and Rory both are fielding.
Don't worry, it's not the Saudis. It's just Hamas. It's okay.
To pounds.
Got to get some more information on this. I think.
I don't think that's it. But anyway, Rory is not against having the live guys come back. Tiger wants to have the live guys come back and play in a reunified golf world instead of having these two factions going out there.
I understand wanting to get the players back, but I don't know if you want to.
Ultimately, you
mixing with those guys.
It's not
because you end up mixing with those guys. You end up mixing with that money.
Well, no, that money's going to go away. That's what they're negotiating on right now.
Yeah, the live tour money's never going to go away.
Well, they are.
You got guys in contracts. Kind of contracts you break, you get thrown off of a very tall building in Dubai.
Well, I don't know about that, and I don't know what it looks like
Mission
yet.
Impossible. Oh my God, that's a tall building.
Oh yeah,
that is a tall building.
When Tom Cruise are running around the outside.
Well, he had those Spider-Man gloves too. Did you see
know,
that?
but did you get dust in the suckers?
Yeah. One of them died on it. Remember?
Yep. He's like licking furiously.
Yeah. Well, I have many things going across my screen here, but
I think licking furiously could be a good texture nickname.
Yeah, licking furiously.
But I think
they're trying to come to they don't know what it looks like yet. Tiger and Rory both say that. They both echo the same story. They're saying that it would be something completely different, and the live tour and the Saudi investment fund would not be a part of this.
They work with the finances of Texas Rangers, the Atlanta Hawks, the Braves, some Formula One racing teams. So they are.
Who's behind it?
Strategic Sports Group. It's people you've never heard of. Like just.
No, I mean, is there a nationality behind it? Is there?
The president of the company is Evan Gitomer. He is from Orlando, Florida.
God damn it.
Bradley Cox is his partner on the team.
So what you're trying to tell me is there's like a PGA version of the NIL stepping up and saying, "Hey, we'll pay all these guys super duper money so that they'll stay over here."
Well,
I just tell you, there's these guys who have these giant contracts with the Saudis, and the Saudis could probably step in and say, under your contract, we can now say you're not allowed to be in a PGA event.
What this means is that they're trying to reunify golf, try to bring some of these guys back to the PGA. And they're trying to tell the Saudi guys, sorry, we don't need your money. We've got another investor. We don't need your money in this.
You've got a bunch of guys who are contracted, and it's kind of late for them. They can't get out of it.
He would say that would be exactly. He doesn't know how it looks, but ultimately they'd like to have the guys that are in live. Have the best golfers in the world back together
again.
You're
try to pay off their contracts to get them over? Because that's what'll happen is when you cut a contract like that against guys like that, there is going to be some costs if you're trying to get out, or they're just not going to let you out.
I don't know what this looks like. I'm just saying, and Tiger said it as well as Rory.
It's interesting.
There's emails, there's discussions going on daily about this possible reunification, what that means. There's no clear, concise story to tell right now, but I think it's
a nice idea. But
here's what it is.
I think it's deeper than that.
If you want to leave or get out of your live golf penalty or live golf contract, there's a penalty in the penalty clause that and they're unsure because
you're going to need a prosthetic hand.
No,
you will be beheaded.
It depends on what you're like when you came in, but the contract penalty could be 2, 3, or even 4 times what the signing bonus was.
See what I'm saying?
And of course, one of the things we talked about was how massive some of these signing bonuses were when guys started going over. So getting out of that now is basically more money than they gave you.
That's what I'm talking about.
To get out.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So are they going to help? Are they going to help buy out these contracts? Because if they're serious about it, they'd have to.
They'd have to. And
I don't know that they would.
Yeah. Well, okay,
but
thanks, Tiger.
But you can stop the bleeding, though. That like having money in the PGA, while you might not be able to get those guys out, the players that you do currently have, okay, we're going to stop the Saudis from having whatever incentive that you can get. You can just get it and stay right here and not have to deal with those contracts and not be banned from playing in major American in DP Tour tournaments.
I think it's a multi-step thing. You're trying to retain the guys that are in the PGA right now, some of the young stars, and also try to get some of the guys back from the Live Tour. And who knows, maybe the Live Tour grows on. But I'm just saying the PGA no longer needs to rely on the Saudi money, and they don't have to get in business with them to make sure golf goes on. It sounds like this sports group is willing to financially come in and help the PGA retain these golfers.
Going to ask an innocent question. What's in it for them?
Well, I'm sure they get paid. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to invest, then there's going to obviously be some kind of return on that investment.
Where does that return come from?
From the golf tournaments and the proceeds that are made at these golf tournaments.
Presumably, if you can their purse, that would be minuscule in size to what the Saudis are doing.
Because it's not individual players; it's at the level of the PGA itself. So what you're talking about is the PGA is hoping to continue to grow, and they're seeing a potential growth in the interest in the sport. And so if you can get, if they're like, if we can manage the money here and get and infuse you with cash, then as the sport continues to grow, we'll get whatever percentage of that growth. If we can help you get your stars back, if we can help you get whoever from Live Golf, maybe not right now, but if that contract is near its end, then you might be able to get out of that contract.
So the ransom fund would get a piece of the action from the PGA.
That's just investing. Unless you think every investment is a ransom.
You're paying a ransom to get these guys out of the Live Tour. And then now they're in. Now I own you.
Nobody said that.
No,
nobody said
that. Kind of what it sounds like.
No, they're trying to receive money from the PGA as their revenues grow by putting revenue in. This is just investing.
I'm all for getting our guys back out of the Live Tour. I'm just saying, let's call it like you hear it. I mean, this is not something the PGA should have ever needed in the first place. If the PGA hadn't tried to act like big leaguers, trying to be like the NFL and treating all these players the way they did, they should have done better by these players, and this maybe would have never happened.
I agree. I agree
with you. I agree with you as well.
So now we have to have a special section that does this, so this will happen, and now they get a piece of that. This is way more expensive for the PGA than just treating people right would have been.
I think this investment
lesson to be learned.
This investment company, this sports group, whatever that's doing this, becomes a part of the PGA.
Yeah, I know, but the PGA should have never needed this.
Yeah, but that's just life. Like you make a mistake. Like if someone is late on a bill or late on a credit card payment, guess what? There's a penalty for that, and you should never have had to pay the penalty in the first place if you'd have just paid your money on time. But people make mistakes. The PGA made a horrible mistake.
You'll end up calling Phil Mickelson lefty for real. They'll just die right off.
I don't really think that's how that's going down.
Cabana says, hey, does anybody need a hibiscus for your ladies? I got 17 plants. They're edible. They're just not smokable. What the hell are you talking about?
Hibiscus. It's a plant.
I mean, we get that.
I
but
know what a hibiscus is.
What are you?
I've got a hibiscus in my yard. A giant one. I got a couple of them. I don't understand why, but we have them.
You should drink them.
No.
Put them in tea.
My dogs pee on that bush. I ain't drinking nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing out of that bush.
There are already places that make it as a tea. You can just buy the tea.
Thanks, Cabana. No, thank you. Unless anybody, do you need hibiscus?
Oh, no, I'm good.
I don't want to speak for the crowd here.
I'm all good.
Thanks, man. And by the way, he says, tell Keon it's cucumbers, not pickles. Well, cucumbers are what we make pickles out of, yeah.
Yeah, so if I might have been redundant in that and misspoke, I meant cucumbers.
Oh, no. Hamilton Porter says, here's a texter nickname, Pickleback. No.
That's actually fun.
No.
Damn.
He says, have any of you done a pickleback shot? I think somebody gave us one once. I think they did. Didn't they do that, Ralph? I think we had a pickle shot when we were at the draft party, didn't we?
I don't recall that. We did have, no, they weren't pickleback.
I can't remember either. That's how good that party was.
What was it? We got pickleback and we got, what was the licking what?
Furiously? Or was it? I don't remember.
I don't know.
You got to write these things down when they're said, Randy. Kenry says, Jeffrey, plenty of women would find benefits in a pickle. Well, and some men too. I mean, let's not be like that. Hefty Lefty says, don't worry. Dom Toretto is going to catch the golfers that are pushed off the building in his Dodge Charger while jumping the car back and forth between buildings. Oh, that's the guy from Fast and the Furious.
And that did happen in one of those.
Well, thank God for Dom.
Because we're family.
All right, listen, when we come back, Moist One has something dirty to say. Manitoban Moose has a question for Ralph, and I don't know what the hell else is going to happen here. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off.
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
There's a reason why conventional healthcare is referred to as practicing medicine. Hi, this is Dr. Hannah Lindsay. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. I regularly see patients with a variety of acute and chronic health conditions, including many autoimmune and rheumatological diseases. We can restore pain-free joint function and balance immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and overall well-being. We emphasize natural and holistic interventions with lifestyle changes and take advantage of the full palette of care options from traditional remedies to modern science. We collaborate with experts in a wide range of health disciplines, including physical therapists and specialist physicians, referring patients as needed to ensure the most effective care possible. So how about a second opinion on your health? You might just end up feeling like yourself again. Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161, or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, so let me tell you what's going on this weekend. We've got Marquette at UConn on Saturday afternoon at 12:45 p.m. And then later on at 5:45 p.m., GCU is taking on California Baptist. And I think that's the entire name of the team, right?
Cal Baptist, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Because there's like a ... on my thing here, and I couldn't see it. It's okay, Randy. You don't need a microphone. You're fine.
Cal Baptist Lancers, I believe.
Okay. And then on Sunday, you've got the Daytona 500 starting 11:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Daytona 500. So that is what's happening this weekend on 1580 The Fanatic.
The big flamethrower.
Sure. So now what we got is a question. I thought it was going to be a question for Ralph, but I don't know. I don't know. Don't think I'm going to read it now.
Why?
Well, it started, question for Ralph. Do you need a divorce attorney? Sounds like you may have marital trouble. I don't know where.
Me?
Ralph doesn't have marital trouble. His wife does. So
yeah, she's the one with the issues, not me.
She's putting up with him. Now, how much more can you ask of her? She's a saint. She's a saint.
I wouldn't go that far.
Saint Pippi the Good.
I mean, there's Saint Lucifer. I don't know. I just wouldn't go that far.
I don't think he's a saint.
No,
No,
he was an angel.
As the story goes.
He was an angel.
He's a fallen angel.
He was an angel until he wasn't.
Right. So
she's an angel till she's not.
No, that tracks. 888-368-1580. Tiwa says hibiscus, agua de Jamaica, Jeffrey. You can get that at any Filiberto's.
All right.
That and here, kitty. Wilbur says, listen to Keon, the voice of reason.
What?
No reason to own a hibiscus plant when you can just buy the tea at the store. Keon will never own his own cow because he can buy the hamburger at the store or at an In-N-Out burger. Do you even have a yard?
I do have a yard.
You have a
big
yard?
enough for a cow? How long could a cow eat there?
I mean, the cow would clear out the yard in like a
10
day.
minutes.
You can't have a cow.
But I didn't say I wanted a cow.
I can't have a cow.
I don't even want a hibiscus tree. Of
I
course I
can
don't
have
want
a cow.
But you have the room for a
Tree?
cow, but not for
Wait,
a barbecue.
Hibiscus is a tree? I thought it was a bush.
Or a bush. I
a
actually
bush.
don't
Well,
know.
there is a hibiscus tree
I have more
and a
experience.
hibiscus bush.
Okay.
Well, what's the difference? Just
One's a
one's
tree
tall?
and so one's a bush.
Oh. All right.
What do I look like, Mr. Horticulture?
I got to ask my wife.
Yeah,
I think
no.
we do have a couple hibiscus, but like I said, not going to drink tea from that dog peed on
Good for
bush.
you.
Mm-mm.
It has a filter system. It's called dirt.
Yeah.
Still,
for you.
I just can't. I wouldn't be able to. Can't get past it. So.
If you're out in the desert,
Yeah.
and you become stuck in the desert for some reason,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
and you are out there and you need something to do, would you drink your own pee?
No. I just die.
Instead of drinking your own pee, you would just die.
I
Just
don't.
give
I
up.
don't feel like that's really a good solution. I don't think that's going to help.
I'm with Jeffrey because if I drink my own pee to survive longer
Yeah.
and I still die, those last moments are going to be the angriest moments of my life. And it's just going to be all self-directed. It's just going to be like, look, I lived longer for what purpose?
Randy, if you want mine, you can have mine.
What if you're not out there when I'm stuck out?
Do you need some right now?
No.
Okay.
No,
Oh my gosh.
no, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, keep
no.
it for later.
No.
I mean, I'm just
No,
saying,
no.
stock up.
No, thank you.
No, to
I
answer
don't
your question,
plan
no.
on being stuck in the desert anytime
It's like
soon.
a beer bong thing.
I don't know why you even asked.
Now
for this.
that I would probably do. See if I was stuck out a beer bong.
You missed what I was saying, but okay.
Desert Viking says, sad day for Tiger. I too am having a few back spasms a few days after Valentine's Day. I see his load management skills are not as strong as Devin Booker's. Well, Devin Booker got tossed out of a game. I don't think that's a load management issue. That's a load of crap is what that was, what happened to him the other day.
No.
Of course, Ralph. Bruno Baller says, Randy, how does the weather look in Daytona? Any chance of a delay there for the race?
If you want me to do the whole thing or
Do the whole
just-
thing.
Oh,
Go ahead. We've got the Daytona 500
All right,
this weekend. You might as well give us a Daytona 500 weather check, and
All
then
right.
I'll know if we have to cancel the
All
broadcast.
right. From the 1580, the Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, currently 73 and mostly clear.
Where?
Just in this general area.
Oh, I thought this was for Daytona.
Oh, no. I could go to Daytona. It's not a problem. They're calling for...
This is all about Daytona.
Well, okay. All right. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
You want me to do the Daytona?
Well, that's what Bruno Baller wants. He wants to
update?
know
You
what the
want
weather is
gotta-
for the race.
Hang on. I've got to enter this in the computer.
We already know that the weather here is just lovely.
But
Just
well, yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Although in here it's 79 degrees because the air conditioning
Well,
decided
that is true. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let me bring this up here because this is not what I was planning on. But anyway,
you know how I feel about that.
From the 1580, the Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, back to you. Not back to you. And I see you guys got me flustered. Daytona, currently, it's 81% humidity. Yeah, moonrise tonight. It's, well, it depends on where you're
Don't
at.
really care when
57
the moon comes
degrees, cloudy this evening, chance of rain. There's a chance of rain tomorrow as well at a high of
Sunday.
63.
Sunday's what we're
Sunday, 99% chance of rain and 60 for the high.
Oh, crap.
Currently 73 degrees here in the Phoenix Metroplex under beautiful sunny skies. Monday, though, they're adding rain on Monday. So, hell, this thing may not even get run. You never know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for that. I don't think we're going to get a day off out of this. I don't think Radio Ron is going to say, yeah, go ahead, air the Daytona 500 on Monday or Tuesday during our
Let's see,
show.
Monday is 60 and partly cloudy. Tuesday in Daytona. Tuesday, 66 and sunshine.
Later, well, do we even need to ask you about our weather here? It's pretty much just what it is right
It's going
now.
to be nearly 80 degrees by the middle of next week.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. So Big George says, Randy, since you're talking about the weather.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing weather for your house. No, we're not doing it. He's asking for no. I'm not even telling you where he lives. No.
This is
George.
from my pal Big George, who
No, we're not doing that.
he is always on the X, which I'm no longer a part of that community. He is always on the X, and he's
You're
always
an
got
Xer.
Yeah, I'm an XXer.
You're no
A
longer
double
an
Xer.
XC.
I'm a double Xer. George, you know what the weather's going to be like there for your locale
Yeah, nobody gives a crap.
in SoCal. Oh, did you see what I just did?
No.
My truth was flowing like Drano Jack. Did you hear that?
Wow. What's a Drano Jack?
I think Keon understands me.
I don't think anybody understands you.
Keon understands me. He gets it.
Are you trying to allude that you're being very hip,
chic, and
update?
trendy
Yeah.
all at the same time, which is not easy with you blokes around.
Blokes. Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
What were we doing? No, I've just completely forgot what
You
we were
asked me
doing.
to do the weather. I gave you the
Oh,
weather.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. So speaking of hip, chic, trendy, and whatever blokes, Jason Kelsey, this is the thing. Jason Kelsey, he embraces the origin story of him and his wife. He embraces that.
Who
His
wouldn't?
wife
Who
wishes he would not tell that story, and she's wanted to maybe change that story
Yeah.
when in polite company. But he's like, nope, this is how it happened. And because, well, on Valentine's Day, he posts up this thing saying, never forget where you came from. And then he was wearing a Tinder t-shirt because that's where they met. They met on Tinder. And she doesn't like that he tells people that. You know, everybody knows it now. And she's just kind of like, yeah, Jason won't let me lie about this. Yes, we did. We met on Tinder. And so he embraces it. He's like, yeah, it was the best swipe of my life. And and his sort of like I met her and it was love at first sight. But what really happened was when they did finally meet. First, she's like, I have no idea who this guy is, and then he's like, well, I got to the bar and I met her. I met him because he was just been practicing and stuff. He's like 45 minutes later, he fell asleep at the bar during our date.
Oh boy,
out like a light. Just asleep. And he says, and he might have been drinking a bit much too at our first date. So not the best first impression, she says. And then he's like, hey, Kylie, can I have a do-over? So she's like, all right, fine. And then they started dating. And she's like, oh yeah, I think I know who this guy is. It took her a while to recognize who he was. And then after that, they got married. So for Jason Kelsey, he's like, Tinder works. And for her, she's like, I didn't need everybody to know that. That makes me sound.
Well, I mean, what you just said is once she figured out who he was, they got married.
Yeah.
That's what I just heard.
I think once she was standing next to him at the ATM.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Oh my God,
you're
that
guy.
balance.
You got money. Let's go.
Ba-jing.
Well, she gave him the do-over without knowing who he was, and potentially a few other dates without knowing who he was too.
Yeah,
It's not.
No, I'm not.
She
Gonna...
didn't just immediately go, "Ha, football player."
Yeah, she's. I mean, we're making that a joke, but I mean, let's be honest. We all get more attractive once they've seen the bank balance. Okay, that happens.
Help me.
Not in my case.
Sorry, maybe not you guys, but still,
yeah,
it does.
One day I'll have the experience.
It still helps. It does.
Usually it's. I look worse.
I'd just be going home talking to myself every night. Otherwise, I guess. Kenry says better Tinder than OnlyFans. No, that's a good point. No, that is a good point.
I mean, that story would be insane. Yeah, it's not a dating site.
Ralph is like, I've been on that site all the time, and it's not a dating site.
A better comparison, you could have said Plenty of Fish. Now that's a dating site, but it's for certain things.
You know a lot about dating sites.
What?
Keon updated me.
Oh, did he?
Keon dropped a little wisdom on you, did he?
Ralph's move right now. Check watch. Is she listening?
Well, I know she's not, so I'm good.
So
and cue the phone to buzz right now.
Speaking of Jason Kelsey, though, he actually says, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And every time somebody asks him about the retiring, but it sure looked like a guy who's going to retire. But no, he's left it open because he's not sure. He doesn't want to make that decision right there at the last game of the season. But Eagles tackle Jordan Mailata. That was close.
Yeah.
He says, no shot that Jason Kelce comes back. He says, look at him out there. He's living his life. He's having too much fun. You're telling me he's going shirts off in games, gambling in casinos, and then coming back? No way. He's having the time of his life. He's never coming back. I don't know that Jordan really knows that for sure, but it sounds about right.
But he knows the guy.
He does not look like a guy who is retiring because he looked exactly this way after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He went on a fun tour after that, too.
Lost the Super
Bowl. No, when they won it.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about back when they won. And he gave
Yeah.
that epic speech in the genie outfit
But-
and all that stuff. He was on bender for a while on that one.
Yeah, but I think that's different after you win the Super Bowl. When the season ends the way that it does, and they were just completely dispatched in the first round of the playoffs, and you have to think, man, am I going to come back? Is this team good enough to go the distance? Because that's what he would come back for. You're not going to just come back to.
Well, there's
have
always
exercise.
money.
There's always money,
And
but
he's
like
going to be well
that-
paid.
That podcast is making them a ton of money.
For how
He's
long?
sucked up.
For how long? I don't know, but he's not poor right now. If he invests his money properly and takes care of it, he's never going to work again.
He's not a
Good.
stupid guy.
Wait,
I know he likes to have fun,
Yeah.
but he's not a stupid man.
No.
That is a good question that Ralph just asked. Is his contract up, or does he have more years on that? He's not like immediately a free agent right now?
No,
because Kelce actually, according to broadcast rumors, they met with ESPN, Fox, and Amazon. They all were wanting to talk to him about potential broadcasting jobs, which I think he'd be great at. I mean, we've already seen him do some things in studios, and we've seen him do some things where he'd show up and talk to guys at a desk. So, I mean, I think he and his brother would be great in broadcasting.
Yeah, this is the last year of his deal.
The one, so he's a
one
free
coming
agent
up?
right now, or the next
one coming up, right?
Yeah, 24. Yeah, sorry, 24 would be the last year if he came back.
Oh, so 24 to 25.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he still has a season on his contract, and that is what he's trying to decide. Not trying to get more money, not trying to find another team, just trying to decide if he's coming back or not. So I
Yeah,
don't think he
and
will.
his base salary is up $1.5 million, which isn't nothing, but it's not something that you.
1.5.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Did he get like a giant signing bonus or something? Because he's always been known as one of the best.
$6 million signing bonus. But part of it too is he wants the team to win. Like he'll take the pay cut. Like he's that guy, where you just go, I could make more money, but if I take less so we can pay other guys, so we can fill out our offensive line, all of that, he's the guy that would do that.
So now that you've heard how much he makes per game, and that he's good at broadcasting, maybe he should go to broadcasting. Right now, according to what they say when you Google it, he has a net worth of about $37.5 million. And he could probably double that in broadcasting over a few years. So
He'd probably make more money in broadcasting than he could.
I mean, maybe just go ahead and let your beard go do it. That epic beard of his could just go do broadcasting. He can keep playing football. Just let the beard make some money without you for a while. I mean, I'm sure
that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick should have done.
They should be on a broadcast together. Only beards. Who do you got? You got Kelce. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who else has a pretty good beard that could be?
Oh, I don't know. Can't think off the top of my head right now.
I'm halfway to a good idea.
Yeah.
Kind of like this show. Anyway,
Keenan Allen potentially.
Huh?
Keenan Allen
Williams?
No, just Keenan Allen, the Chargers receiver. He's getting up there in years. He could join the Beards broadcast eventually.
Well, Whitworth has kind of a stringy little goatee thing going, right?
Yeah, he probably could grow a beard if he wanted to.
He'd
but-
have to be in this. Only beards. I'm telling you, there is a multi-bazillion dollar idea I just had.
Yep. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, somebody's going to steal it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to take a break. And when we come back, I don't know. We'll talk about something. We can talk about some NFL stuff. I don't know. Whatever. What do you guys want to talk about?
I have I've got a submission to you, Mr. Man Card Commissioner.
Okay.
When we come back, I'll tell you who's my submission to be Man of the Day.
All right, we can do a little bit of that man talk, but also, like I said, some NFL and other things on the way too. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off.
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. Randy has a submission for Man of the Day. So, all right, who you got, Randy?
Well, I was looking at this today, and I thought this dude he's something tough. And you were just talking about Jason Kelly. Well, Kelsey, this is an offensive lineman for the Chiefs, a guy by the name of Nick Allegretti.
Okay.
Who played for the injured Joe Thuney for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And you may recall Thuney just couldn't make it.
Yeah,
So
he tried to come back, but just wasn't able to get back.
So Allegretti was in there in the second quarter. Apparently, he was blocking. He got onto a block a little bit late, got his arm in the middle, and the linebacker went to make the tackle. Well, his arm shouldn't have bent that way.
Ah, hyperextended him, huh?
Nope. Tore his UCL. Something went pop and tore his UCL. So did he go off? No. Did they have a timeout? They had a timeout at the time. So he was able to kind of get himself back together. And then he went and continued playing, finished out the first half, winning at the halftime. They got a brace on him. And one of his teammates is really knowledgeable, wants to be a doctor, knowledgeable about anatomy. And the guy says, you don't need a UCL to play offensive lineman. So Mr. Allegretti here, and I call him Mr. because he's a man. He's all man right here. Yeah. He said, well, tape it up and put a brace on there, and I'll get back out there. He played all 79 snaps. He played every down in the Super Bowl. And I think that's my submission. I mean, all right, a guy that could go in who puts it all on the line for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree and understand. You're like, okay, well, you got a brace. And the other guy says you don't need it to play. I guarantee you.
Oh, he was in pain.
He was hurting every time because that's what they do. More than, I guess, equal to their legs. The legs being their leverage. The work they do from their forearms and their like pushing, or their elbows bent. and pushing guys back and all the different, or sometimes grabbing a guy because you gotta, holding on every play. But everything you do in the act of being an offensive lineman, you need that elbow.
The UCL is it's in the elbow. Yep.
That's why actually Joe Tooney, who he was in relief of, couldn't play. He had a pectoral issue.
Pectoral, tore that muscle away from the bone.
Yeah. So it's just no matter what you do, like that's part of the job. And to be able to go out there, the brace just stops it from getting worse. It does not make it better.
Doesn't help with the pain. No.
I'll give you man of the day on that.
All right.
I'll give you man
fantastic. There you go. So thank you very much. I just think that's amazing. I mean, offensive linemen, I feel like, are like catchers in baseball.
No, that's about fair. Yeah.
The
heart of the team, really.
These guys, they don't complain much. They usually play through pain. Catchers, you get a foul ball off of your elbow or your hand or something, and generally a catcher will stay in the game. I played with I had a broken finger one time, didn't know it until after the game.
Sure. No, I mean, that there is a good similarity between catchers and centers when it comes to football and offensive line.
I couldn't throw to second base. The ball kept going into center field because I couldn't use that thing.
Well, there's a problem. We have to pull you.
that might be an issue. But also, I think another comparison is you don't usually notice them unless they're bad.
Yeah.
The great ones make it look easy.
That's true. I know when an offensive line is doing well. And I find this out from my wife. When we're watching football, anytime she's like, "Oh, he's got all day," that means that the offensive line is doing a fine job for the other team.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Man of the day. I do want to give a man card sort of worry. I don't know. Concern. Sylvester Stallone. Maybe we should not let him talk anymore.
Uh-oh.
He's 77 years old.
Yeah.
Seems like he's kept himself pretty good.
Yeah.
And he did that Tulsa show, which I haven't seen yet, but I bet that's pretty good. That's what is it called?
Tulsa King.
Old guy in Tulsa. Yeah. Okay. Tulsa King.
It's good.
Yeah. Which is funny because you go to, I go
to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. That's in Oklahoma there.
It's right next to Tulsa.
Weird that an Italian is going, Anyway, So Sylvester Stallone is sitting there on clown ass Jimmy Fallon show, and he's sitting there, and they're talking about Rambo, and he said, I met a guy who I think would be great to replace me. He said Ryan Gosling. What in the actual hell are you talking about, Rambo? Ryan Gosling, the little guy. I mean, yeah, he might be ripped or something, but because he had to play Ken. But this is not a guy who should play Rambo.
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah. He says, no, here's why. He says that when I was sitting there at dinner with Ryan Gosling, and I guess Ryan Gosling says, "Oh, I was fascinated by Rambo. I used to go to school dressed up as Rambo, and people had chased me away, and I still didn't stop. I loved playing Rambo." He says, I had a lot of affiliation with Rambo when I was growing up. He says, I love this. And so he started thinking about it. He's like, wow, well, maybe I should pass the baton on to Ryan Gosling because he loves the character. And so, no, please don't give this to Ryan Gosling.
You can't play Ken and then Rambo.
Well, I mean, have you, he was in the movie Drive. He did beat a guy to death with a hammer.
Yeah, but does he look like Rambo? Did he look like Rambo doing it?
Well, if you have muscles and take your shirt off,
okay, there's muscles of various kinds. There's skinny muscles, which is Ryan Gosling.
Well, he's got
there's
lean
big,
muscle.
I'm going to rip your head off and crap down your neck muscles like Rambo has.
Yeah, but you say that, but there are guys, you can see the before and after of Chris Evans before he was Captain America. You would never have guessed that guy could get that big.
Well, okay, there's another part there. Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, probably too good looking to be Rambo. You know what I'm saying?
What about Bradley Cooper?
Well, that I have no comment
he'll
on
wear
that.
a prosthetic for anything. So,
but it's just
I don't think he's buff.
But it's just
when he played Chris Kyle in American Sniper.
How about when he played the guy who just played with the giant schnauzer? Boy, he pissed some people off putting that on.
Eat protein and lift weights. You will be able to look like Rambo on a screen.
Well, your actual frame
that's
has
what happened
to
to
carry.
me, but it all fell down here.
Your actual frame has to carry, and I think Ryan Gosling's frame would not carry the same way Sylvester Stallone's frame carried. You have to have a certain broadness of shoulders. You have to have a certain presentation. You know who should play Rambo is the guy who's playing Jack Reacher right now on Hulu.
That's another good one.
If you look at Hugh Jackman before he was Wolverine, you wouldn't have guessed his frame could carry that.
No, you can see it. He's got broad shoulders.
Okay.
I'm saying Rambo has to have a different look when he shows up. And also the thing about the face, you got to have that sort of, that ugly mug kind of face. I'm not saying Sylvester Stallone is necessarily ugly. I'm just saying you could look at him and see, you can't see that from Ryan Gosling.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, if he's just playing a character in the franchise, he doesn't necessarily have to literally be Rambo.
He said, if I'm going to pass the baton and someone's going to play this character, it should be Ryan Gosling. I think
they should do the Creed
take away
thing.
his driver's license, give him a handful of Werther originals, and don't let him have the remote control.
I think they should do the Creed thing where you just go, okay, same universe, but this is just a different person's story.
With arms wide open.
No, Apollo Creed's son.
Well, you didn't say that, did you?
Well, no,
I didn't
because
know
I
what
thought
the
it was
hell you're
obvious. Sylvester Stallone was in the movie Creed.
Oh.
The character that he was friends with in his own movies. I didn't think I had to explain the whole thing.
I only knew 3 Rocky movies. After that, I didn't care. There's just 3 Rocky movies.
The Creed ones are pretty fun.
You're talking about Alan Richardson or Ritson from
who?
Alan Ritson from Reacher.
Oh, that's his name?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a man you could say, oh, he could play as a Rambo. He's still maybe a little too pretty in the face. And I don't know how he'd look in long hair.
Oh yeah, I think he would be all right. Yeah.
Are they remaking this movie?
But it's
it'd have
funny.
to be a giant motorcycle for him, though.
They will eventually, Ralph.
It's funny.
You know how it goes.
It's funny how they portray these special ops guys like Rambo and all this business. These special op guys really don't stand out a whole lot.
They look like me.
They really don't.
No, I mean, no.
They're
seriously,
fit.
Seriously.
Don't get me wrong, they're fit. But they, other than the
That's the
tattoos
difference, yeah.
that are up and down their arms,
Yeah.
you really don't. These guys don't stand out. I used to play softball with a guy who was a Navy SEAL.
Sure.
You would have thought he was an accountant.
If you stood me next to one of these guys, you'd be like, oh, these guys are, whatever. And then, of course, we take our shirts off and I'd be asked to put mine back on. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
That's the thing. I mean, you just, I hate the way they portray these guys. Okay, be fit. That's why Ryan Gosling would probably work because he's smaller frame.
Too small.
But these guys they are pretty small.
No, I know reality, but
average.
Rambo wasn't reality. Rambo was supposed to be Vietnam. A veteran came back who just happened to be this ridiculous killer that was created by the United States government. He wasn't even supposed to be a regular soldier. He was a super soldier. And that's why his old colonel had to come back and try to get him out of it,
How do you know so much about Rambo? Because I made him.
Exactly. Nobody made Ryan Gosling.
I don't know, man.
He was hatched.
Camille Nanjiani, that guy got really big for sure. A very bad movie.
Not Rambo big. He couldn't have been Rambo.
His name is Camille.
He was rock built, and yes, you're absolutely right. But
I don't know for a person watching on screen.
Everybody, let me cast this. I got this.
Okay,
just let me cast this. All right,
shoot.
Because there's certain things where a guy can get himself all built and muscly, but then he still has too much of a kindness in his face, or if he has too much of a certain look, it's just not going to match up.
I'm not saying that he's the guy that could play Rambo. I'm saying that he's.
I understand what
somebody
you're trying
who was smaller
to communicate,
and got bigger, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know he could look like that." I'm just saying, is it possible that you're looking at Ryan Gosling and saying he can't get that big, and you don't know that?
No, he just doesn't have the right look, whether or not he does inflate or whatever. We can do CGI for anything too. You can make anybody look a certain way, but their face, right? I got more important fish to fry. I think we've all established that Sylvester Stallone should have absolutely no power in casting of any Rambo movies.
Agreed.
I saw this headline. What's that, Ralph?
No. I was going to say, while you guys were cackling, I went and looked up who could replace Rambo, and there's actually top 15, and Gosling is number 2.
Who's number 1?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember.
That list is stupid.
But he's number 2.
It doesn't matter.
I'm with you.
Dumb.
I mean, I'm with you. But
who do you think it should be?
Me?
Yeah, not Ryan Gosling.
I don't know. To me, I'm like, it has to be somebody that looks like Stallone, like the Ultimate Warrior. Remember him?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, that guy. Yeah.
It has to be somebody like that.
Go grab a wrestler. Yeah, get there.
Well,
maybe John
what's the guy
Cena.
that played? What's the guy that played?
Not so much Cena.
What's the guy that played Aquaman?
Oh yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Jason
Momoa
Momoa
could be.
Oh, he'd be
he
great.
could be
He
Rambo.
would be good. Good
He
job,
wasn't
Randy.
even on the list.
Randy, I'm going to make you an assistant to the casting director.
Thank you very much.
That's actually pretty good. Well done, Randy.
Do I have to do anything?
Not a thing. You just did
good.
it.
All
You're
right,
fine.
thanks.
Just sit there and look pretty. We're good.
Thanks.
So all right. Well, that's settled. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, Randy. That fixed everything. All right. So
Jake Gyllenhaal was number one.
Son
That's who it
of
was.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That googly-eyed mother. No.
I knew that was your exact reaction. I was so glad I looked that
Who
up.
put that list together?
I
Yeah,
saw
there's
that.
some bad ones.
I saw that number one, and Casey Affleck was also on the list, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, he's
"Whoa."
like a third of a man.
Did you see Gyllenhaal in that Roadhouse trailer?
No, I saw Conor McGregor go in there and kick him in the chest.
But did you see? I mean, when he had his shirt off, he's pretty
He
cut
doesn't look like
nowadays.
Rambo.
Well,
He doesn't look like listen, it's more than just muscles. There's certain aspects to him you need to physically show to meet a character. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the problem with Hollywood. So many movies get, hey, you know who's popular? Throw them in there. And then you're watching, you're like, this doesn't work. Like, how about Tom Cruise as Jack Reacher? Doesn't even fit the way the character is described in the books. This new guy sure does. That's what I'm saying. All right, listen, enough of this. I think that's enough man talk for one day. I'll tell you about the Chernobyl's mutant wolves another time. Wow. No, I'm serious. Look it up. That's crazy. Anyway, it's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, any big plans for today?
Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale.
Oh, for what?
For scoring 20% off.
For 20% off.
For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more.
Wait, for real? For how long?
4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale.
Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure.
Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended silver unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the silver unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harmon Solar is with us. And you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Ralph, of course, will be back on tomorrow at 10 a.m. doing the Weekend Warriors. And it's going to be a show all about Major League Baseball. Getting ready for spring training, which I can't believe actually starts next Friday.
Yeah.
At least for the Diamondbacks.
Well,
I think it starts earlier for some other
You
guys.
mean games?
Yeah,
Game.
that's what I'm talking about.
It's already started.
No, that's what I'm talking about. And when he told me they were having turn your head and cough day the other day, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Already? Yeah. So, okay. I guess, yay. That's great. They had to do this because they've stretched out the season because of the way the playoff thing is and where the World Series. Okay.
All right.
I'm not going to complain that they're starting up the baseball earlier. And I go, if spring training is starting earlier than before, that means it won't be super duper effing hot for the first couple of spring. Because sometimes the temperatures do get like uncomfortable where people are getting baked like lobsters out there on the grass
I don't
watching
know.
some of these spring training games. And it's just downright uncomfortable.
I don't know if Ron told you this, but I need you to fix me up with some sort of remote broadcast equipment. Ron wants me to travel around at all the spring training sites.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, he told me that today. He told me to tell you that I need to be at all the spring trainings. I won't be in the office anymore. I'll be out at the spring
Hey,
training.
Keon, can you get Ron on the phone?
Just get him on the phone. Make sure that you get Ron on the phone, and
He's going to tell you how much you're full of crap.
No, he's not. He told me that earlier, and he.
You think I won't get him on the phone?
Oh, I'm sure. Don't do that, Keon. I'll you'll have to trust me when I say that. As a matter of fact, here's a note that I totally did not just write for you, giving you.
All right.
Here it is. Permission. There it is. Note. You can see the note. I did not write that.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's got Ron's name on it. Wait. What? Don't, Ron's not going to like it. If you you shouldn't tear up Ron's notes. That's not a. Oh, jeez.
A little confetti for you to take with you. Request denied.
Didn't work, huh? I thought if I did it with a straight face.
You just handed me a piece of paper that says "Note from Ron."
Yeah,
that's all it said on it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, you didn't look at it long enough. At the bottom, it said, "He has my okay."
That's not true. I can tape this back together.
And then
we
it
never
Ron,
see it.
like you know how he does it, like he's having a heart attack. Ron.
That's just because you're bad at forging. That's all that is. Raven Kid says, "Hey, Ralph.
Yeah.
Cool little show you got there." That almost sounds like he's like, "Hey, cool little show you got there. Be a shame if something happened to it."
He didn't say that though.
No, he actually
That
what he
was
said
you.
was, "Cool little show you got there." Now, where's my pizza? Do you owe him a
Yes,
pizza?
I owe you pizza. We need to hook that up. So let's do that.
Send us a receipt, Raven
No,
Kid.
man, I need to we need to meet and I'll go buy you pizza.
You guys see each other on Twitter. You'll sort it out.
We'll sort it out.
Big George says the first spring training game, is on Friday for the Diamondbacks. That's the Colorado Rockies, if I remember correctly. He says, "Yep, 6 days away on Thursday. Padres face the Dodgers. Guess who's losing that game? The Dodgers. It's preseason. It's
Who cares?
spring training. It doesn't matter, George.
So let me ask you a
But
question.
I hope you're right.
Let me ask you a question, Ralph. You're a big Dodger fan. At least that's what I hear.
It's a rumor.
I heard it as a rumor. Now the Dodgers and the Padres are going all the way over to South Korea to play a series of ball games to come all the way back home to continue the season.
Can I get this one?
Yes.
Cocaine. Is that right, Ralph?
No, I'm sorry.
No,
That's
wrong answer.
Oh,
It's the
go ahead.
wrong
Well, then
answer.
I'll you have the floor. Okay.
All the way back home to resume. What do you think about that? Starting off the season in South Korea.
Oh, I thought you were asking how they do it. Oh,
No,
okay.
no. What do you
Cocaine.
think of that?
I like the premise. So I think it's cool how they're going there to play a major league series in front of that fan base. Korean baseball is actually it's really growing.
Well, I know it.
That is like strike baseball for us. We watch that
Right.
when there's nothing else.
It's actually gained a lot of popularity.
No,
in
no, I
Korea.
wasn't being mean about it. Just
It's
it
a
is
seven.
good. It
Yeah,
is
it's-
good.
It's not bad. There's some Americans out there playing now and get paid good money to go out
Yeah,
there.
but
I
same
like
with
the
Japan,
idea
though.
of it. What I don't like is now this travel that you have to make out there and back.
Yeah.
It's going to impact players, especially when they get back and they have to start playing. Now, granted, it's a 162 game season, so it might mess with them for a few weeks, but they'll get past it. I like the premise. I don't like when pro teams go to different countries and play games that count, like in the NFL. I don't like it. It bothers me.
Why does it matter if it counts or if it doesn't?
Well, if it's an exhibition, I don't care, right? If I'm a player, especially the guys, there's a bunch of young guys that are traveling out to Korea. You know they're going to go out there and they're probably going to want to have a little bit of a good time, maybe party a little bit, maybe do some things that typically wouldn't do if they were back here. Maybe get a little excessive in some of the things they do, and maybe not be able to play their best. So,
so I agree with you 110. Why not make this a spring training series?
Absolutely what it should be. That would make all the sense in the world.
But then you take revenue away from the communities where you take your team and go do spring training.
But the Dodgers
But aren't you doing that with regular games if you send those over there?
Well, but
you can consider those away games that you were going to have to do anyway.
Most teams after spring training in Arizona or Florida is over, go back to their home place, wherever it is, LA or whatever, and they play the Dodgers play a 3-game series against the Angels.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, you can go to Korea and play a 3-game series against the Padres, then come back and start the season.
I mean,
There you go.
That would make sense, right?
There
So
you
it doesn't
go.
impact
Yeah.
anybody economically.
You could consider them away games, but somebody's losing home games there.
No, what you do is just
that's true too.
They have their home games, and then just you make sure the total is that those are away games for both of them. You're not maybe one of them is procedurally a home team, but both of them are considering these away games. So you can figure this out with the math. It can be done.
Yeah, I'm not
But
sure how they're doing that with this one. I'll be honest with you.
it's the same kind of stuff when you look at how they do the NFL games over in Europe. Somebody's losing something, right?
Yeah.
But no, they figure it. Well, it's away games really for both of them. I don't know.
But
if
somebody-
the Jaguars lose a home game, I think, on that deal.
They all lose a home game. It counts as a neutral site game, but they don't get another game back somewhere. You have lost the home game.
In the NFL, you have 17 games, so who cares?
If I have to go on the road, it's an away game anyway. Just for me, it's an away game.
Yeah,
And for them, it's an away game. You calculate it that way.
Yeah, I'm just saying I haven't seen that done, I guess.
Well, I hate the idea of doing that anyways.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Ralph says, I don't want it to be a regular season kind of thing because it'll matter. I don't like any of it for the NFL. It just seems
I
like
don't
an
either.
excessive amount of travel when you're taking an excessive amount of equipment and an excessive amount of personnel. And there's only 17 games and you're plus playoffs, but not something we know anything about in this room, but there's only so many games and so many opportunities, and now you're shoveling them off, to another country. I don't know.
And you're playing on inferior fields in Europe and Mexico, no doubt about it, where people are getting hurt and not, it's just not good. And in the NFL, to your point, it's only 17 games, so the impact of one game like that is major. Where in the MLB, it's not because we're playing 162 games, right? So it's less.
Manitoba Moose says, I have a question. Well, why does the show sound so much better today? New microphones? You shut
No,
your
it's
mouth,
'cause-
Manitoba Moose.
because I'm on the show.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's why. It's because of Ralph.
Ralph's here.
It's the only reason.
Radio Ron listens to Manitoba Moose.
We're in deep grass.
I know. Shut up, Manitoba Moose. Just trust me. Kiss the Cook says, I hope the Dodgers get the Chinese gravy squats. What the hell's a Chinese gravy squat?
Don't even want to know.
I do too.
Just based on context clues, doesn't sound good.
No.
Sounds like
sounds like a new texture nickname, Chinese gravy squat.
It sounds like you go somewhere and you eat some bad food, and then you leave with the Chinese gravy squats. That's what
I don't know. Was it because of the gravy, or is it because somebody who's Chinese who just ate regular gravy? There's a lot.
Oh no,
of
they're
layers to
they're
this.
not
It could go
saying
either way.
they're not saying it was gravy when it went in.
And they're not going to China, so
Well, they're not saying it's gravy. Could still be gravy. I don't know.
It could. I'm
I don't
just
know.
saying that's just what I imagined when it was said.
I do like gravy though. Bruno Baller says,
not after that text.
Has Ralph been to a Dodgers spring training game when they played in Florida?
I was never got the opportunity. I was young most of the time they were out there, but I really wanted to go to Vero Beach. I wish I could have gone. No, I missed that.
Beer Bob says, I like that Ralph is already making excuses if his Dodgers suck for the first few weeks of the season.
So that's not what I'm doing. It's baseball. It's a long season. They're going to have periods. The Dodgers are going to go through streaks where they're just not going to play good and they're going to lose games. That's baseball.
It's the playoffs where they're hilarious.
I mean, they can lose, 60 games this year and they still win 102. I mean, but you're going to lose 60. So
Big George says, I believe those games in South Korea are a home game for both teams, with the San Diego Padres the home team for the first game and the Dodgers is the home team in the second game. So the Padres will have one less home game at Petco Park this year, and the Dodgers will have one less home game at Dodger Stadium, which makes it very fair.
Leave it to my guy, Big George, to figure out all the details.
You've been lawyered, I guess. 888-368-1580. And I don't know, when do we start doing our way too early predictions? For the Major League Baseball season.
Soon.
I guess we should do that next week. Let's do that next week,
right.
at least by Friday. You want to do it on Friday? Because we might see a couple
Friday
games by
next
then.
week?
Yeah. Let's just do it Friday.
Well, look, pay no attention to these games. Clearly, you pay no attention to these spring training games. Just like you don't pay attention to the preseason football games.
Well, there are things to pay attention to. I'll talk about that tomorrow, but there are things you need to pay attention to in spring. It's important.
Same thing with preseason. There are things you can learn watching it, but but you can't say, we went 4-0 in preseason.
Right.
Guess
It's
what we're
not a
doing?
score thing.
Yeah.
But you can say, wow, that pitcher's got some smoke. Or, oh, look at that guy, that quarterback. Oh, he's looking sharp. You can see some things. You can kind of tell some things, but you honestly really can't tell anything until you see a game.
There was some post from an Angels news media outlet where they were saying Angels, taking a run at winning spring 2 years in a row this year. I'm like, are you kidding me?
They say winning spring training?
Yeah.
Have you tried winning in summer?
They got nothing else. They're not going to win. They're not going to win in summer.
That sounds
That's
like
all
a
they
team
got.
excited about winning an in-season tournament.
I wouldn't know about that, but anyway.
Hang a banner. Oh, they did? Oh, my God. Anyway. So let's talk some NFL football, shop. Let me make sure that nobody on the text line wants to finish up the Major League Baseball part of the conversation. Oh, just another face in the crowd says, if Daytona is postponed until, Monday, and now, of course, the machine has decided, will the Fanatics still air it live? No. Wait, can we?
You want to.
I guess I should ask Radio Ron then.
Yeah.
That's how you start finding out if our days are numbered. If he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
We were going to do replay anyway.
Yeah, got any extra races we could put on during the week, specifically from 3 to 6? Anything? That's how we'll know that we're short time. Nondescript says, how about kill off Rambo? Ain't no Vietnam vets doing anything but dying in 2024.
Wow.
Man, that's pretty dark. Wow. Pretty horrible.
Yeah, I would.
Well, you can all just change Rambo is no longer Vietnam vet to being.
That's what they've done with James Bond.
Back in Desert Storm, right?
It's not the Cold War anymore, but you still you just update the enemies.
So it could be an Afghani vet.
Yeah. What? Wait, Rambo's Afghani?
No, I'm saying it could be an Afghanistan war vet.
Well, yeah, you got to be more specific. Raven Kid says there are definitely things to watch in spring training, but don't take the results too seriously. Diamondbacks looked awful last year in spring training. Yeah, look where they ended up. The World Series. And I think they swept a team or two in the playoffs, didn't they?
That Dodgers team is dead.
They did sweep a couple of teams in the play. Yeah, at least one that I know of.
Yeah, you guys dream on this year.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you said last year.
I heard that last year.
Yeah.
I hear the same damn thing.
Wow.
They're all getting Ohtani shirts.
All right. Yeah. Need something to wash the car with.
Showtime.
Sure. Yeah, I got nothing against Ohtani, though. I mean,
no, I don't either.
Yeah, I'll appreciate him wherever he is. As long as he's not a Yankee, I'm fine.
I don't either. I mean, there's your National League MVP right there. It's already over. I mean, why even go out and play?
You don't know.
Ohtani's going to win
ask
the
the
MVP.
baseball writers. They'll tell you.
I mean, he did hit 10 bombs in his first 20 spring training.
Oh, geez.
Swings.
I got Ralph goes from last year. Ohtani's not crap. Now he's like, he's God.
I told you 2 years
on
ago,
Earth.
Ohtani will be a Dodger. There he is.
Yeah, you did. Because you know who's got the paid.
I know who's got the money.
Who's got the check.
Who's got the deferrals.
Yeah. And unfortunately, no championships for a while. Oh, 888-368-1580. So,
did you notice this?
That thing is very old. That is
2020.
Oh, yeah, the bubble. Shut up. Anyway,
that's the asterisk.
Do you want to hear? Right? I was just stunned.
Season.
Jimmy Garoppolo is he's got a 2-game suspension for PEDs. Is not what I thought he would test positive for after he dated that porn star. I really thought we were going to hear a different kind of story, but no. Yes, he used some prescribed medication. He didn't have a valid therapeutic use exemption. So whatever it was, 2-game suspension. Now he's supposed to get like 12 million or 11 million from the Raiders, but guess what? The Raiders, we're going to release him before that kicks in. So, maybe we'll trade him if anyone wants him. Nobody wants him. He's done, right? He's done. Come on. Garoppolo's got to be done now. He's made enough money. He's done.
Everybody needs backups.
Yeah.
Everybody needs backups. There's a team.
He's worthless.
I mean,
No,
you
he's
say
not.
that, but Joe Flacco used to be worthless until somebody paid him to come off a couch, and look at what happened.
Flacco always tried. Flacco maybe didn't always have success, but Joe Flacco always gave you 100% of his effort, and he really did care. Jimmy Garoppolo don't give a crap. He shows up with the lunch pail, and he goes in there, and then he's like, "Oh, you need me to go in? Oh crap! All right, fine." You know, he's not the kind of guy that you would want as a backup because you can't have a guarantee he'll be ready. I wouldn't want him. Wouldn't want him as a backup.
I wouldn't either. He's made out of glass, but I can't say that he's done because it's just about how he's perceived in the league. And NFL decision makers make decisions all the time that
Can
I'm
I
like,
tell you how
what
done he is,
are
though?
we doing?
Here's how done he is. He was replaced by Aiden O'Connell.
Who?
That's
a
right.
A rookie out of Purdue.
That's right. So I think he's done. I don't know.
I don't know that that's true. He was replaced by Aiden O'Connell because he's made out of glass.
I wonder if we
more
should
than-
have a
more
bet.
than anything.
I wonder if we should have a lunch bet that if Jimmy Garoppolo is on a roster at the beginning of the season, if he's on a
Keon buys
roster,
us pizza.
yeah, we get pizza. Wait, how did you end up in this bet?
Well, I thought it was the presumptive. All of us is your we.
Okay, so then it's
all of us.
All right, fine. Keon has to buy us pizza, and if he is on a roster, I have to buy you guys pizza.
Okay.
So Ralph and Randy just win no matter what.
Exactly.
This
Yeah,
is the
pizza
kind of
either
bet
way.
that he always weasels into.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
Ralph.
Yeah, I appreciate
Ralph
that.
didn't say a word and somehow got involved in a pizza bet.
And you haven't agreed to it yet, though. so-
Just no, I'm about to.
Large pizza would be enough for everybody to have a couple slices.
Pepperoni.
4 of us.
Yeah.
So there you go. Large pizza. Do you agree to this? Because I don't think he's going to be on a roster.
I agree. Yeah.
We have to be very specific here.
Virtual handshake.
I need gluten-free pizza, so that's an extra pizza.
Camera handshake.
That is fine.
Part of the bet.
Well, it's probably better that we just buy the slices and the drink anyway. So
Nope, I need a whole thing.
I think that they.
Well, that's not happening.
You're
They
gonna
don't sell
find
about it.
you are.
I'm not making a
optional
bet
in
with
this bet.
you. You
Ralph, your eyes say yes, but your waistline says no.
Oh, it's not about the waistline. Gluten makes him angry. He turns it, starts breaking crap.
I think his skin starts turning
All right.
green.
It's a weirdness. I don't know where it happened, but
Purple shorts for some reason. I don't know.
Wow.
no, the purple shorts. That's just been his.
You peeking in my room or what?
What happens is
I was trying to say you were the Incredible Hulk, but sure, if that's what you want to go with that.
every
Maybe
time,
I am that night.
every time his wife finds purple shorts in the hamper, she throws them away, and he's got to go buy new ones. So you're not going to find purple shorts.
What are we doing next week for my birthday?
I don't know. You've had so many. I mean,
Next week is my birthday.
I know.
We're saying another year.
Next
How-
Tuesday is
how-
my birthday. It's the annual Randy White birthday show
Yeah.
next Tuesday.
How old are you going to be this time? I can't remember how old you are. And I'm not guessing. So
I will be 62 years old.
you sure?
Yep.
All right.
Nice.
Born in 62. It's 24, 62 years old.
I don't know. Maybe we should all go to lunch or something.
All right. It's the Randy White birthday show next week, next
right.
Tuesday.
I'm going to buy you crapes.
What? We're just going to bring them because
that
we're
doesn't
not
give-
going
That
up.
doesn't give him diabetes or kill him. nothing.
We're not driving all the way to Clean Creek
What?
again, Ralph.
I'll bring him to him.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah. Eat them if you want. They're good. They are
Really
good. Just saying. So yeah, well, for Randy's birthday next week, we'll get to go. Probably should have had this conversation off air.
I get to do stuff on the air. Then it's my birthday.
Whoa!
Like what?
Oh yeah,
What do you want to do there?
I dance naked.
I'm out.
Also out. Gotta say.
Yeah.
Will that be in studio or from home?
Smoke cigars in
Well-
the studio.
I did that once, and I got in so much trouble. This isn't another radio station. It was an entertainment talk radio station, and it was an NBC deal. And so me and this guy Barry Kluger, we thought, what we should do? Let's. We realized the studio had a window that opened. We should come in here and smoke some cigars. And so we're like, all right, let's do this. There's nobody else around. And so we went in there and we were just sitting there smoking our cigar. Hell, man, we had a fun show. Had a great time, just sitting there talking, shooting the bleep. and smoking these giant cigars. Oh, and the place smelled great to us because we like cigars. And the window's open, and we think, yeah, we're good. And we're like, hey, where are you? I'm over here. Okay, that was a little smoky in there. It was a little smoky. And then all of a sudden, the front door of the radio station flies open, and the guy who works next door as a massage therapist is screaming, what in the hell are you guys doing in here? And we're like, well, we're smoking cigars. The window's open. We didn't realize that building, we shared an air intake.
Oh, no.
So he's over there massaging somebody. Oh, the cigar smoke just fills the room. And the guy's like, is this like a new therapy? He's like, no. What?
Of course
it's
not.
a new Cuban therapy? No. Oh, man.
Oh.
I thought that crazy guy was going to kill everyone. So yeah, ever since then, it's like I'm not going to smoke in studio. So no, we can't. We can smoke outside, but not in here.
All right.
All right. Anyways, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk some more football. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NASCAR racing the Daytona 500 on Sunday, the Great American Race, and it starts the 2024 season. Joey Logano will start from pole position. He won that Wednesday night in single car qualifying, and he is the betting favorite to win the Daytona 500, along with Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. All three drivers are plus 1,000 to take the checkered flag. Brad Keselowski has never won a Daytona 500 at plus 1,100. Denny Hamlin, who's looking for his fourth Daytona 500 championship, also plus 1,100. Kyle Larson plus 1,200. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
We've been friends for over 30 years. And
Wait. It's been over 30 years?
Yep, you are that old.
Well, at least you have one friend.
Anyway, we have a show called The Weekend Warriors, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
We'll discuss national and local sports, and we'll talk about some sports that you don't hear about much.
We'll also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their stories with you.
We look forward to sharing these great stories and hanging out with you.
It's the Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Hey, Ralph.
Yeah.
Saw the Seahawks went ahead and paid Geno Smith.
I did.
Good move.
I think so.
Because
For
they
now.
can still trade him if they want to, because that's not a very big contract to have to trade if you find something that's worthy. Or, let's say the Seahawks grab something, good in the draft. They can move on from Geno Smith without a whole lot of.
Yeah, I think the guaranteed is $12.75 million, so
Mhm.
that's not bad.
Yeah, so that was not a bad move on their part. But also, that guarantees that he's going to get that money no matter who it's from. And that's a thank you from
He
the
deserves it.
Seahawks to him for what he's been able
He
to do
should
for
get
him.
it. Yeah, they did him right.
But he's not the guy that's going to take you into the promised land.
I don't think so. I don't think he's that guy. I think they're going to draft that guy probably this year.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep. Who do you want?
There's a couple guys. I like Bo Nix out of Oregon. If he's still available at 16. I like Penix Jr. A lot, especially with the coaching staff that they're putting together up there. It makes a lot of sense to go after Penix Jr. I just don't think you grab him in the first round. I think he's a second round pick, which they don't have a second round pick this year. They have to trade down for him.
I feel like you're going to see people trade up for Penix, don't you think?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's right. His last game just took him right out of it.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's his history of injuries too. I think
It's the injury history that is pretty scary. 2 ACL tears, and then you've got not just the last game, but the last game I think prompted people to go back and look when he's played those top defenses. There have been struggles, so you've got some concerns there.
I think
That
you're
is
gonna-
size,
It's going to be interesting because so if you look at Seattle's coaching staff they put together, it's a bunch of young guys. I mean, really young. I don't know what they're going to do. I think you're going to see guys like maybe DK get traded, other guys get. I think they're going to go for a youth
It's a rebuild, huh?
I think they're just going to do a youth movement. I think Jamal Adams is gone. I think they'll release him. There's going to be some good guys out there for people to grab. So it's going to be interesting to see.
April will be very interesting for a lot of our teams, I guess.
I think so.
Big George says, Ralph, very well done earlier, reading a tease for your show tomorrow. I like it. We'll explain it all in tomorrow's show, just like those nightly local news teasers.
Yeah, I'm a tease. Go figure.
See, what he hasn't figured out is the art of the segue right there.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, George.
Desert Viking says, Ralph, I'm expecting your Rob Guilford take to be better than your idol Jim Rome's.
What?
You have a take on Rob Guilford?
Who's Rob Guilford?
Do you mean Manfred? Viking? Oh, that may
call him Rob Guilford.
Girlfriend. Do you have a Rob Manfred take? Nobody does. Thank God he's leaving. It's just like now we
I
got to
think he
wait
was-
5
he was-
years for it to happen.
I think he's referring back to when I said I want his job.
What would you do different?
A lot.
No, I mean, that's a fair question, though. He says he wants the job, so we all
think-
thought you'd be good at it.
I think one of the first things that I would do is fire Mitchell Hernandez. I would allow him to umpire a single game.
Does the commissioner of baseball have the power to get rid of a guy
In
like
a
that?
back office, I guarantee you he can. I would make it happen. I got a guy.
Well, I agree with I agree with you, Ralph. I think that's
Old
got to
Angel
be
Hernandez is taking out the garbage.
that's got to be the very primary thing that the next commissioner takes care of. You've got to fix some of these umpire situations, and please, for God's sakes, get rid of the ghost runner.
Why wait till another commissioner? Why haven't they just taken care of it now? What do you
Because,
think is going to be different for a new commissioner?
Goofy Manfred isn't. He's not going to
He's
do
a
that.
bad commissioner.
He's a terrible commissioner.
Isn't he
You hope
locked
the
into
next one will be better than the
2029 too?
last.
I
He's
feel
locked-
like if it was easy to do, he'd have done it, which means that
Nah.
somewhere there's
No.
a power struggle.
He wouldn't have,
Why wouldn't
because he's a dirtball.
he? Oh,
He doesn't care about the game. The way he thinks, the things that
That's
he's done
true.
to the game, he does. You can show he does not care about the game. He's an.
I mean, the reason that he was like, yeah, I think I'll retire in 2029. You know, this man is saving up for a yacht and
Yeah.
counting every single cent until the day he can leave. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he blew all his money on for Beanie Babies. So
I think
then,
one of the things that I would honestly
Bad
do,
investment.
Yeah,
I would bring in the robo umpires. I think it's time.
Absolutely.
They work. They've proven that they've worked in the last 2 years. I would bring it in.
Randy used to hate that, but then he also hates bad umpiring, so he's okay with it now.
I used to hate it too, and I like it now that I've seen it.
Aren't you?
What's that?
Okay with robo umpires now.
Oh, I'm okay with the robot umpires. Yeah.
It's time.
I'm all right.
It's time.
I don't want to go away from regular umpires on the bases, though. I mean, sorry, I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see
far less damage than the person behind
well,
the plate.
I don't know. I'm still it's Jim Joyce and that whole incident here in Phoenix. Taking Galarraga's perfecto away with a stupidly bad call.
Well, for all the fans of bad calls, still possible, but a robo ump on the plate, this is step one.
You need to be able to challenge those back because some of those calls for balls and strikes, I mean, especially Hernandez, they're so ridiculous in crucial moments. I mean, you just can't allow that. You've got to be able to stop the game.
Well, challenging, okay, but I think there needs to be a revamping, of this umpire agreement, this union agreement. Yep. And a good commissioner will go in there and he will work hard for the game and he will figure out a way to make the game more entertaining when you have better umpires to make the right calls, not these guys that are just stuck in a position and don't give a rip. They're just there collecting a paycheck. And it's a very handsome paycheck, by the way.
Accountability is something we've hoped for in every single sport in officiating, and it's something we've never seen.
Well, and I don't like the power that they have to just toss anybody for any reason. They look at somebody the wrong way and they toss them. And that probably goes through multiple sports. I think umpires, referees have way too much power, and that needs to change.
There needs to be accountability, and there needs to be somebody to come in and say, all right, see that? That was bullcrap. Don't ever do that again or you're fired.
Yep, I agree.
So, we all heard all the numbers from the Super Bowl. We all heard all the information of how much per 30 seconds and all that. But when I was sitting there watching the Super Bowl and they were like, hey, we're going to overtime. I'm like, I wonder how much more money they'll make on advertising with this, And the protocol is when they go to overtime and they know they're going to have more commercial breaks, they have already deals made with some of these advertisers just to replay their Super Bowl commercial for a reduced amount, but still a chunk. CBS made $60 million from more commercials aired on that Super Bowl.
Wow.
Insane.
Of course, here at 1580 The Fanatic, Westwood One sent us some coupons for frozen yogurt.
Well, yeah,
that's what we got.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's great.
Did
you realize that yogurt place is in Oregon somewhere? Right?
Well, there's a new guy over at Westwood One.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Anyway, so that that's great, I guess. So the NFLPA we were talking about yesterday, and how we're like, well, this is weird how they're sort of kind of colluding almost with the NFL about game surfaces and stuff like that. We're like, well, this is weird. Shouldn't the NFLPA be on the other side of the conversation, not agreeing with them and
on the side of the 92% of their players that say they don't like playing on turf?
How about on the side of 100% of their players who they're supposed to represent their best interest no matter what they think? And so now, the NFLPA saying something else that I think is interesting. They say banning the hip drop tackle would be detrimental to the game. But what?
The hip drop tackle.
The hip drop has been responsible for taking out more knees and ankles than anything I can remember in the last couple of seasons. And that's something that the NFL has been looking at. I was like, well, as a safety issue, maybe that's we thought this would be a better alternative to some ways of tackling to avoid concussion, but it has resulted in worse injuries to the knees and the ankles, the lower body. And, so there has been some people saying, we got to take a look at this and maybe get rid of that tackle. I can't just sit here and rattle off a bunch of names, but there was some big names over the last season or two that you lost to a hip drop tackle. And so now the NFLPA is saying, no, we got to keep it. Getting rid of it would be detrimental to the game.
That's insane.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
You shouldn't be allowed to go low on a player unless it's for a wrap tackle. If you're wrapping up their legs to get them down, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to destroy their knees or that just makes no sense.
You've seen that
whatsoever.
kind of targeting.
Right. You should not be allowed to go low like that in that manner. Plus, there's a lot of idiots that go low and guys jump over them. So, I mean, the best thing to do would be wrap tackle only low and everything else should be fine up top.
The NFLPA should be looking at what's best for all the players. But if you were to ask the players, half of them would be like, I love the hip drop tackle. Why? Because they're defensive players.
Exactly.
So you can't go by what the players even think on this.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, defensive players also didn't mind helmet-to-helmet hits.
No,
like those are the craziest guys on the field. You can't just take their opinion and nobody else's.
Well,
they even get hurt. So.
You have to.
That's the thing that protects them too.
You have to find something between a spine-shattering helmet hit and rolling up back down the backside of a guy to take his knee and his career away. There has to be another way of doing this that is in between those two things.
Well, but it isn't the reason why these guys do the hip drop is because any other way that they tackle, they get called for a penalty, a roughing penalty, or
it's all about trying to avoid the use of the head. But like Ralph says, sometimes it's an appropriate tackle, and other times you can tell they did that just to get a guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but
if you're standing in line at Starbucks and I came up behind you and did the same thing, that's to take your knees out. You know?
Well,
in fact, why
would you do that?
The mafia should, instead of just breaking kneecaps, just learn the hip drop tackle and have some of their Goombas just roll down the back of somebody and say, "You have a nice day," and then that's it. They're just like, he's going to go to jail for that, but that guy's going to just be limping for a while.
I mean, Mark Andrews basically. He was done until the AFC title game, essentially, because his ankle was done. Like the way his foot was pointing as a result of that tackle, when the defensive player's weight landed on it, he was done. Like that's career-ending stuff. That's season-ending stuff, and I don't like to see that.
I have just an inkling that the NFLPA might be crooked.
You think so?
Just an inkling,
which stinks because they're already the weakest union in sports. Like they already concede more to the owners than any other union to any other group of owners.
Yep.
Being crooked on top of it just seems unfair.
Yeah, there's some scary sauna action taking place.
Scary sauna.
The guys from the NFLPA are sitting there getting intimidated by Roger Goodell in a towel that is uncomfortably loose.
If they start a campaign to bring back AstroTurf, we'll know something's wrong.
Yep. So the NFL, as you know, we've talked about this before, that they're going to play in Brazil on Friday night of kickoff weekend. So there's another Friday show out of nowhere, a Friday game, that is. And so they're going to do that in Brazil, which, can I just say, Ralph talked about when you go to a regular season sort of thing, right? And you want them to be at their best, and then Brazil is just that's a drug infused crazy party right there, and there's a lot of safety issues with going to Brazil, no matter who you are. And we're gonna do this. It's like, okay, this is just a recipe for some sort of disaster, but that is already a said and done thing. But this one is kind of cool, but also I don't like these games far away. But Madrid, Spain. That's like a party place, but not quite as get kidnapped dangerous as Brazil. But they're going to play regular season in 2025 in Brazil. So in the following season. So, okay. I don't understand this. I don't know how it helps.
What's next? Australia?
That's just
in season.
That is just too much.
This is already too much.
Like, what do you mean we'll get back yesterday? What?
Like,
how does this even work? That'd just be way too confusing for the NFL. So 3 games in London, 1 in Munich. They're going to have 1 in Brazil. It's going to have Madrid, Spain, and all these different places. I really hope they're making some sort of real money off of this, because it just doesn't make sense otherwise.
And Jacksonville keeps doing this, right? Don't they keep going back?
Oh, they love it.
So they become like this big team over
there. Their owner is from the UK.
He owns the stadium.
And he's associated with some of the teams that they play in their stadium over there. So, yeah, he doesn't mind at all.
Just move him.
I'm sure he'd love to. I'm sure if the NFL let him.
You have to have international interest if you have a curly mustache. That's just you can't have a curly mustache without that.
I thought it was Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, you get it otherwise you just got to snip, take that off. That's the way it is. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on this date in Big George's sports history, it's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with a surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Are you ready for your passion to meet your purpose? The city of Chandler is one of the best run cities and best places to live in Arizona, where people express their passion through collaboration and teamwork as we serve our community of innovation. Come to Chandler, where passion meets purpose. Visit jointeamchandler.com for our current openings. That's jointeamchandler.com.
This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
I'm here to tell you about a technological shocker. Believe it or not, you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
That's shocking.
Wow. What a world we live in. All you have to do is say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
David Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Get caught up on the text line here. Yeah, just another face in the crowd. We were just talking about that here in the studio too. The glass court for the All-Star weekend is like lit underneath, and there's like black lighting or something. It's like cosmic bowling. Very weird and just kind of, I don't know how you play basketball on that. That is. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I am seeing it. Yeah, it's very odd.
What in the hell?
I don't know if it's glass, but
here?
I don't know.
Do you see that? Do you see how weird that court looks? I just listen. I don't care about the All-Star game, but that's just please don't ever do that again. That's all I'm going to say.
Is
Please.
this the Futures game? Is that what this is?
From the future?
No, this is the celebrity game.
Oh, well, then nobody cares.
No.
Well, that's why they're doing all the experimenting
You
with
don't
this.
think they're going to do that on Sunday?
No.
Let me know because I'm not watching that garbage.
I mean, I'll when I find out after, I'll let you know.
I just don't care enough to watch.
Yeah, nobody cares. Justin Bieber out there? Yeah, nobody cares.
Probably.
Micah Parsons is out there. I saw him.
That's on the court playing?
Yes.
If you let Stephen A. Smith be a coach of anything, with his made up basketball background, just
it's Stephen A. and Shannon.
Yeah.
Doing-
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
doing the coaching. Shannon Sharp.
Well, there's one thing. Mike the Huddle, and here's some of the weirdest crap ever from Shannon Sharp. That's what you get. Everybody, of course, with the black lighting, everybody will be blind by his giant teeth. Just wow. I can't see the clipboard, coach. Anyway, Lost Toby says Major League Baseball should allow the hip tackle to break up a double play. A hip drop tackle.
Tell you what, they used to do that. They'd roll them up at second, right, Ralph?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
At second at home plate, too.
Yeah, we used to. We were taught.
Their careers ended that way, though.
We were taught you going into second base, you go in hard. You don't go in cleats high, you go in hard.
Yep.
And that meant you go in hard and then you roll over the bag to try to take out whoever's coming across the bag. If it's second base doing a pivot or if it's the shortstop, coming across the bag, your job was to take that guy out and make it hard for him to make an accurate throw to first.
I feel like that might have been a good rule to get rid of that.
It was
Why?
Fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
It was fun to
Because
watch.
there's
but
careers that end right there on that play.
Yeah,
not
still fun.
not fun to have your knee hyperextended because somebody rolled up on you.
Breaking up
Is
a double play was an
Is
art.
is it getting cold in here? Because I feel like there's a snowstorm coming.
Oh, brother. Manitoban Moose says, hey, NFL, when are you going to come to the country that actually loves your sport the most of any country outside of the United States? Talking Canada. Okay, first off, you don't, you lion sack, because here's the deal. Canadian football will only allow you to have so many Americans in it, and the rest of the team, it's like they count the Americans, and if you have too many, then you're in trouble. So Canada, you like the football, but you don't want Americans doing it. So why would we go there? Because it's Americans who'd be coming there and visiting. It'd be 100% Americans on the field.
I don't think they mind Americans.
Violating your laws.
It's not that they don't want Americans. It's that they understand the truth, which is that if
we are
they
way better at this than them.
Correct. And if they just let Americans through, it would just basically be another American football league in Canada.
Right. It'd be like a minor league thing, only we'd call it the freezer because we go up there and get the leftovers and take them down and thaw them out and use them here when we need them.
We would never play up there. It's too cold.
Well, they don't play.
They play in the summer.
They play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm talking about during the NFL season.
Yeah, never during the NFL.
But early enough in the season, you think you couldn't get away with the game in Toronto or something?
In summer, it's like 60 degrees there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like early in the season, you wouldn't do it week 12.
You know what? Canada, stick to hockey. Just do your thing.
But like the Bills are already right next to Canada, and they're fine. So
this is where we just take Canada's underwear, pull it up a little bit, and say, "Go home." You're like like our little brother.
Give him a pat.
Yeah. Don't tell mom. Navy Devil says, so if the NFL can move games to Fridays, now can they move the Super Bowl to a Saturday, please? Well, everybody really wants is for the Super Bowl to happen on President's Day weekend. At least some people would get the next day off.
I think we should write a memorandum. Dear Raj.
Until you can spell memorandum, we are not sending a memorandum.
Dear Raj. This is Jeffrey and Randy and Keon.
I don't know if you want to be drugging
from the Daily Blender. What's the possibility of moving the Super Bowl to, a President's Weekend? We think it's a good idea, and we're going to go ahead and give this to you gratis. You only owe us just your eternal, undying, gratitude.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not signing that.
Signed, lovingly yours.
Yeah, very not signing that.
Jeffrey, Randy, and Keon.
So,
I like that he put your name first, by the way, on the.
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with this.
On the letter.
Why not just okay? What do you guys think? What is better, a Saturday Super Bowl, so you already get that next day off, or the President's Day weekend?
President's Day weekend.
President's Day weekend.
Why not have the Super Bowl on a Saturday? I think they used to.
But it's
Why not
traditional, man.
Why not just make the Monday after the Super Bowl a national holiday?
Because only government workers would get it off. The rest of us schmucks would still have to work.
Yeah. Do we get President's Day off?
No.
Oh.
Well, then what does it matter?
We got to be here next Monday.
What are you
That sounds like you have an issue with Ron.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
I have a note here from Ron.
Was it already
says,
President's Day?
What?
It was, wasn't
No.
it? Oh, that's
Next
this week.
weekend.
It's this weekend. Okay.
Next Monday.
I want the game on Sunday, not Saturday.
Wait, when was the Super Bowl? Was that last Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday, yeah.
Feels like forever ago, doesn't it?
If you're a Niner fan, yeah.
If you're a Seahawks fan, you're already eliminated from the next season.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. So, what about us, though? How do we get that day off? Everybody's got to still do the same thing, call in sick.
Well, we are. Oh, it's the big one at Daytona. The trucks are running. Oh, boy. We are your official NFL station and Super Bowl station here in the Valley.
That doesn't get us a day off.
We should get the day off. We should.
Can't you play reruns?
No.
Here's the thing. You're like, hey, how about you do a best of the Daily Blender? I'm like, have you heard the show? Because it would take us a year to collect enough stuff for best of.
A year?
Yeah. This is not in the cards for us. We're either on or we're off. That's all how this thing works. Desert Viking says this might be a dumb question. Well, you are Desert Viking. But why Georgia? Who's Georgia?
Why Georgia?
What are you talking about?
Georgia what?
Moving on.
Huh.
Maybe he's talking about, is that where the All-Star?
No, it's in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium.
What are you talking about?
Well, Masters is coming up, but that's in Georgia.
Swuzman says, remember former Giants catcher took the biggest hit of all at home plate. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just for that hit.
Who are we talking about here?
He didn't say. Lost Toby says a lot of soccer leagues have rules, to have players of that nation have priority.
Ray Fosse took the biggest hit at home plate and was in the wheelchair. I'm not sure who you're speaking of. You're talking about
Buster Posey.
Buster Posey. He played again.
You guys never saw the Naked Gun sequels, did you? Because that was the biggest hit at home plate.
Well,
Lacrosse guy says, trivia question. The national sport of Canada is hockey.
I don't think it is.
Well, what is it?
I think it's lacrosse.
Yeah, there's only lacrosse guy. He'd only texted about.
Yeah, I think it's lacrosse.
It's lacrosse. We've decided.
Moose tipping. But no.
We say lacrosse. Desert Viking says Georgia sports history.
Okay. What about it?
Yeah, you're right. That was a dumb question. I said on this date in Big George's sports history.
Oh.
I didn't say Hall of Fame, Moist One. I said Hall of Fame. Nobody said Hall of Fame. What is wrong with you?
I mean, if my mind were in the gutter that often, I don't even know how it would function. Like that just seems
Hall of Fame.
One.
Isn't that a Kardashian?
I remember her.
Oh my God.
Well, let's just get this done. Let's just get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It is time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1924, Boston Braves third baseman Tony Bokel became the first major leaguer to ever be killed in an automobile accident when he died from injuries received as a passenger in an automobile accident in San Diego, California. Geez, George, well written. Thanks for telling me he died in an automobile accident in an automobile accident. That was perfect. Yeah, I guess somebody had to be the first.
Yeah, I mean, as opposed
George
to dying
Global.
What?
George Goebel?
Tony Bokel. Boeckel. Bokel. And I guess Bob Musil, the Yankees outfielder, also in the car. He walked away without any injuries.
No relationship to Stan.
I don't know. Maybe. How many Musils could there be?
Only one. And his head resides about 600 yards from here.
There's Stan. There's Meta.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should just see yourself out now. So bad. Oh, dear God. Big George says, Jeffrey, if you ever run for supreme leader of the free world, your first act needs to be abolish daylight savings time. Your second act would be legislate having the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend. Signed, all Americans. Well, if I am made emperor, those are two things I would do. I would actually do that. And then I would say, we're not giving the government workers that day off. We're giving every worker that day off, except for the government workers. They have to go to work.
Hey, I like that.
For once, you guys always get all these damn days off. We get the days off.
I like it.
You guys keep everything going.
But if everybody gets a day off, then how do you function as a society?
Well, everybody stays home, Ralph.
Government workers will be hard at work.
Yeah, they'll be taking care of the
So
things.
if you don't want to stay home, you can't do anything or go anywhere or eat anything because no one's working.
Ralph, I'm the emperor. You stay your ass home. If you leave your house, there's going to
Sounds
be
like North Korea. All of a sudden.
What you've decided, North Korea, what you've described is Christmas.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a day.
If we just buy food and have your family and friends over,
right.
and
Places are open on Christmas.
No, that's fine, but not on the day after the Super Bowl.
Very few places are open on Christmas, though.
We're going to call it Emperor's Day.
It's like Jeffrey Young Yoon. I mean, you're
Everybody just listen. I love being at home. That's a treat to me. So I'm just saying, one day after the Super Bowl, we get good and liquored up, but we all stay home. Nobody's drinking and driving. Nobody's allowed to go anywhere. And we just enjoy the day.
Except for the government workers.
Oh, yeah, those sons of bitches are going to be out there.
Yeah.
They're going to be. Yeah. No. So many damn days off.
Absolutely.
602 Pats fan says, Jeffrey for president. I appreciate that, but Emperor would be a lot easier. I could get so much more done if I just had the power to say, we're doing this.
That's a good point.
Dictator. I guarantee you, I would solve so many problems.
Oh, yeah.
Create so many. There would be some that I would probably create for myself. Listen, I mean, I'm working hard here. I deserve your adulation and all that. So
adoration.
Whatever. Lost Toby says the national sport of Canada is competitive logging. That would actually sound about right.
Yeah.
Just another face in the crowd says independent contractors, Ralph.
What?
No, just yelling things at Ralph.
Independent contractors.
This is how far we've descended. We're not even shouting insults at Ralph.
That was like
anymore.
a minute ago.
just
that's not even old text. That was a minute ago.
Just partial phrases at his direction.
I really want to know what that means. I need more.
I think he's saying
you got like 30 seconds.
Independent contractors don't get paid days off. I think that's what he's saying.
Right.
I didn't say you get paid. Your ass stays home.
You never even mentioned getting paid.
The military will be patrolling. Stay in your house.
Absolutely.
In your yard, at least.
This sounds like COVID all over again. Okay.
Yeah, it's a COVID day. It's a COVID anniversary. That's what we'll do. Like it'll be. I would like to make it the anniversary of the day Ralph gave me COVID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. But I'm trying to make this a holiday for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Henry from Jamaica says, join the military. Every Super Bowl Monday, I get it off. I've had it all 5 years off every Monday after the game because they know everybody's going to be so drunk. There's no point. Smart.
And there it is.
Not military intelligence is not something that usually you don't want to hear together, but that one actually makes it happen.
Yep.
602 Pats fan says, get rid of vegans and vegetarians. Listen, we're not doing. I'm not doing that. As Emperor, I don't let them be weak and whiny. I don't care what they do. All right, guys, that's it for us. We'll see you Monday at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.